stopping us. Fly without a boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let them know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show them who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross. I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Said I might be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tottenham Away. It's Friday night and we are live. Aye, Savaloy. Aye, chicken pie. How's everyone doing? Do you know what? I'm not feeling too great tonight, so I'm going to struggle through this, hence why I'm talking absolute gibberish. But anyway, a friend of mine's just joined us. Gilly, the Liverpool fan. Big up, Gilly. How you doing, my man?
What's up, Gilly?
How's it going, Stelios? Good, thank you.
I'm good, man. Good to have you on the show. Hopefully we get a few more of my uni friends on because apparently they're all going to cook me tonight. So I can't wait to send them back to the motherland. Steve, how you doing, my man? Big Newcastle fan representing the Geordies in the USA. How are you, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm just chilling, watching some footy. But yeah, I'm all right, bro.
What game are you watching?
Wow. Real Zaragoza versus Cultural Leonesa. So second division Spain.
Who the fuck watches those games, man?
I do. It's not football, man. It's simple.
Do you know what? How many different kits have you got, by the way? I know you got 4 in the background, but how many do you actually own?
Oh. I'm gonna say 160.
160
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Different club? My God, man, you're a fanatic.
About 50 Newcastle shirts, a bunch of Lazio, Strasbourg, Bayern, a few others, and then there's some random ones. Yeah, it's a collection. So
Proper football fan. Gilly, how you doing tonight, man? How many different football club jerseys do you own?
I have not quite 160. I reckon I've probably got about somewhere between 10 and 15. I think the only varying ones I've got a Brazil from 94, from USA 94.
an Umbro.
Yeah. And I've got an Argentina from 98. I've got a Germany from Euro 96, I believe.
Wow.
And then Inter Milan shirt from classic Ronaldo days, the real Ronaldo days.
R9, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Class. I've just got Spurs, Greece, and Apoel. That's it. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got the Barcelona top from when Hadji. Is it Hadji that used to play for them? Not Hadji. What's his name? Stoichkov. Sorry, Stoichkov used to play for Barcelona.
Yes.
I've got that. I don't know why I've got it, but let's quickly say hello to everyone in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Big up Disabled Team. Hope you're doing well. We've got Roy. We've got Adrian. LA007. Big up Ron. Finn. How you doing? Wolves F1. Graham's in the house. Big up Graham. Got Ravi in the house. Mojo. Full Ball. 3SS Sports. How you doing, my man? JJ. We've got Ron in the house. My name's Jeff. Casario. We've got Tot Spurs. We've got Catalan 094. Daniel's in the building. We've got Bill, Luca, Cold Shot, and the Birmingham, UK. Someone from uni in Birmingham watching. I wonder if that's Tom. Is that Big Tom? I don't know. Got a friend from uni called Tom. All right, let's get going. Oh, last minute entry there. Francois. Yo, big up to you as well. And East London Gooner. How you doing, Gooner? All right, boys. So, after that diabolical, pointless midweek international break, the good stuff's back to Premier League. Listen, before we get into the Premier League, I want to ask you a couple of things, right? The first one is about Harry Maguire. Do you think the hate is becoming OTT? And I'll tell you why I ask it, right? Because as much as I'm guessing we all think he's shit, and he's never really been good, let's be honest. He might have had a good spell. He's had the odd good moment for England. Are we just living in a world where social media, and because we're paying so much money for tickets, that if it's not what you want, you just get angry or you just turn on them really quickly? Because listen, Spurs, we do it as well to players. I'm not going to make out that it's just Man United fans and England fans.
Happens in sports.
Yeah, but has it got a little bit too much? Like, I'm not taking the piss. Well, I am a little bit, but his mum got involved, right? And for your mum to get involved, yeah. No, but that's quite deep. It's quite deep, isn't it? She felt obliged. She had to say something. I think she's made it worse personally, but I don't think she cares. Look, Steve, what do you make of it all? Is it too much hate? Has it gone too far?
He can turn off the comments on his Instagram. He can turn off the DMs. He could deactivate social media. Bro, people say nasty stuff. I don't like it. The death threats, and if that's unacceptable under any circumstance. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Deactivate your comments. Do what you got to do. There just are those nasty people out there.
Yeah, but he gets booed every time he goes on the pitch.
The booing, for me, this must be a huge cultural thing.
He gets booed by his own fans as well. Like I'm fans, the home
saying,
fans.
The booing thing for me, I don't care. But, okay, so obviously I'm from America. Booing is a part of sports here. Nobody looks into it deep. Booing, if I go to a Bears game and they suck, and they always do, yeah, I'll boo. It's simple as that. It is what it is. So booing for me, I don't know if in the UK it means something completely different. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not just the booing, it's the hate. It's the hate he's getting. He's getting a lot of hate.
But there's also a lot of people just saying the truth. He's not very good at football. is not good at all for Manchester United. And for England, he still makes catastrophic mistakes. And he's getting criticized for it. If you play bad, that's why you get paid all that money. That's why you get paid all that money. There's a reason why, like you said last night, Style, the Spurs Academy, what did you say? Out of every 2,000 Academy kids, one gets a pro contract?
No. What I said was, I asked the guys at the Spurs Academy, do you think that taking kids that are 7, 8, 9 into an academy is too early? Do you think that's too much pressure to be putting on kids? And then what they said to me is that at the end of the day, one of these kids one day will be on £100,000 a year. If they can't learn to handle the pressure, how can we justify giving them the money? So as harsh as it may sound, which I don't disagree with, I'm just saying, like, hate gets to a point though where, like, he's still a human being though. Let me bring in Gilly, right?
Yeah.
Gilly, I know you're going to be biased because you're a Scouser and you hate Man United. But is he partly to blame, Gilly? Because he could have gone to West Ham and he turned it down. So he's decided to stay at Man U, and he's under more pressure being at Man U, I guess. I mean, what do you make?
Yeah, let's be absolutely honest. Why did he stay at Man United and why didn't he go West Ham? Because of the money.
Yeah,
money. That's it. Yeah. That's all it is. So I'm firmly in Steve's. I'm agree with Steve here because it's purely down to the money. If you're not performing at your job, if you don't perform at your job, you get the sack. You're out the door. You don't continue to get paid 200 grand a week. And fine, to be fair, I don't really hear that much booing. I don't hear Man United fans booing him. Yeah, he gets booed by opposition. And, all the oppositions boo players. So what? Doesn't matter. And like Steve said, if he doesn't want to hear the bad comments, turn his phone off.
The really nasty stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's been anything like death threats or anything like that. At the end of the day, it's football, right? And you've got to take it. You're there. You're a professional. You've got to block it. You block things out. Why do people boo? Because they know it affects players, and they know it affects him. So the more they do it, the shitter he plays, and he just makes everybody agree that he's crap, and he is shit. Let's face it. I don't think he's totally shit. He in a certain team, and I think probably something like a West Ham team, it probably suits his attributes a little bit better. Sitting deep, play that deep ball. He can head it out. He can clear. He'll do well. He should have gone West Ham. And look where West Ham are now. Look where Man United are.
Yeah, but are they top because they don't have Maguire?
Well, I don't think they're particularly great anyway. I think we all know they're pretty shit. I mean, yeah, I'm biased, but I watched them, and do you know when I've got something to worry about, I'll first person put my hands up and say, shit, I'm worried about this Man United team. I haven't felt that way for 5 years. In fact, because they are shit. I think they just get by. They get results. Even last season, I would say that they were not a better team than Newcastle, and they were not a better team than Liverpool. But they ground out results, which you get your own merits for that.
Fair play, yeah.
I'll tell you what. When they came to Spurs, I was at Spurs for that game. This is how I look at Man United. They've got players that can just create something, a spark of magic. They do have a couple of players that will just get the right shot off and it will just hit the back of the net. And they've got players that can cause a few problems. But as a team,
£1 billion spent, you'd expect them to have somebody who can do that shit.
Yeah. No. Listen, I'm not. Listen, they're Man United. They should always have players to do that. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. But what I noticed is, other than having a couple of moment players, if you get on the ball, you dominate and you go at them. Honestly, I saw a very below average team when a lot of Spurs fans were going crazy and wild. Yeah, we beat Man United. But at the same time, I'm not taking nothing away from Spurs. We did play well. That second half, we owned them. But I weren't impressed by Man United.
They're a mentally weak team. When they face adversity on the road, they crumble. They did it against Sevilla. They did it against Newcastle. They did it against Liverpool at Anfield. They did it against Man City away. They lost to Brentford away. They're a terrible away side because their mentality. If the home crowd ain't backing them, they lost to West Ham away. They're a horrible side on the road because they're mentally fragile. They have to have the crowd behind them. They have to.
I think
even then they were lucky against Wolves.
Facts.
They were lucky against Wolves at home as well.
Even against Forest, Forest had them 2 down. That's supposed to be relegation fodder, that is, but give him a good game. And that's probably why I'm a bit worried about Wolves tomorrow, because Wolves battered Man United. They didn't just, they lost the game, but they should have had a penalty at the end. Don't know why that wasn't given, but they actually played them. Man United playing at home, you're thinking one of the first games of the season, should be doing much better, but they're not. So,
yeah.
We got Gearish in the house, another uni friend of mine. Big up, G. How you doing, my man?
Salute, my brothers. What's going on?
Well, you can have your say as well, G, because you're a massive England fan. I know how much you follow England. What would you make of Harry Maguire?
I haven't heard anything. I've literally just turned my computer on, bro. So I haven't heard whatever.
We're just talking about Maguire.
Oh, Maguire, is that okay?
Do you think the hate on him is too much? Or do you think that actually, no, he's just rubbish and fans have got a right to boo and not like him?
And criticism.
To be honest, I think the only reason why he's getting hate is because of Southgate. Southgate's playing him. You understand? If you're playing a man who doesn't play for his club, then straight away you're putting him in a position where he's not match fit. He's not going to be up to the level of other players who play regularly for their clubs. So Southgate is the one putting him in a vulnerable position. There was no reason to sort of bring him on for me the other night. You brought him on, and the guy scores his own goal, and then you want to bitch about everyone cussing him after. Come on, man. I mean, it's just the thing about abuse, is unacceptable at all levels, of course. But with me, if you cuss a player for what they're doing on the football pitch, that's fair game, bruv, because this is what it's about. It's about your performances on the pitch. When it starts becoming like personal or racist or sexist or whatever, that sort of stuff, then for me, it's out of bounds. You understand? But if it's about criticism of the guy's performance on the pitch, he came on and scored an own goal, bro. It's not as if he, came on and played well and everyone's like, abusing him when he didn't deserve it. He shouldn't be on the pitch. One, he shouldn't be on the pitch. And then when you bring him on the pitch, he goes and scores an own goal, blood. So, it's kind of, I just think for me, it's all fair, really. Obviously, if it's starting to get like people are DMing him, like thousands of DMs, which is like personal abuse, that's obviously unacceptable. No one will condone that.
Thing is, he gets abuse at Man United by his own fans. He gets hate from every away team because they know they can rattle him easily. And as a fan, you want to destabilize your position when you don't want to give him an easy time when they come to your ground. It just seems wherever he goes right now, it's just the fact his mum had to. She felt the need to put a statement.
The motherly instinct kicked in.
Yeah,
but that's quite deep.
Mumsy coming out, bro. Putting out statements and I don't know about that, bro.
I'm not going to criticize her because, let's be honest, it's motherly instinct. It's motherly.
I'm not criticizing the mum. I'm just saying the fact that she felt she had to come out. I mean, she must listen. She sees her son. Yeah, she must be seeing something in him to feel I need to speak out on this.
Yeah, that's motherly instinct. I can't criticize her for that because almost any mother, like if they felt the way that she felt, whatever. My problem is Southgate. He didn't need to go on a rant about how excellent and amazing Maguire is and why does he get all this. You know what? He created the TalkSport narrative. Is Maguire the most hated England player ever? No. I'm not even old enough to remember Beckham, but I've done my research. They hung, what was it, little dolls of Beckham after the World Cup?
World Cup that was, yeah. He
got
a red card against Simeone.
Luis Figo had a pig's head thrown at him when he went from Barca to Real.
But Steve, the difference is back then we didn't have people videoing stuff on cameras, putting it online. We had no social media, instant reaction, instant memes, instant GIF, instant just bang. Like you lose a game, and within 2 seconds, there's like comedy videos out on it. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah,
but at the same time, Stelios, those papers in Spain, or in England, they were criticizing the hell out of Beckham. There was still like anger towards those two players that I named. Nothing as Maguire has faced. It's a different type of like onslaught of like criticism, rightful criticism, because he's not a good player. Sorry,
you were going to say something.
Sorry.
I was just going to say. Well, the thing is, he's not playing for his club, so you got to ask yourself, why why is his own club manager not playing him? And we all know the answer because he's shit. Right, so why doesn't he go back to...
He has Southgate. Southgate said, I'm not going to play Foden in central midfield because there's a reason why Pep doesn't do it. What about there's a reason why Maguire doesn't play for United then, bruv? You know what I mean? He's picking and choosing his team, man, like what he wants to talk about. Yeah, but Maguire and Phillips don't play for their club. There must be a reason for that as well then. So for me, Southgate is, I don't know, man.
Southgate is making it worse for Maguire. He's making it worse. He is stirring.
I've lost faith in the national manager, man.
What he's doing is he's pouring fuel on the fire. Actually, you know what? Screw that. He started the fire and then poured gas on it. Because if he did not say anything special or rant about Maguire, it wouldn't be on TalkSport and it wouldn't be all over. But the fact that Southgate had this special rant just about defending him, now everybody's like, why?
Well, he's taken the pressure off himself, hasn't he? Because really, the anger should be at Southgate, not Maguire. If you're a football player and you call into the squad, you're going to go on the pitch and play to the best of your ability. So the real question is, Southgate's thrown him in the mud. You know, he's played him when he could be playing him. Yeah, it's poor management, and he's looking after himself, not Maguire. He should have kept his mouth shut.
Yes, bang on. Bang on.
For those of you that don't know, on the panel we've got Iggy with us, who's a fellow co-host with me on Monday nights.
Big
Iggy,
up, guys. Big up.
Man, you all right?
Yeah, all right. I've just been this Maguire thing, man. There's two scenarios that I've come up with. Well, obviously there's the player and then there's the man. All right. The player, I feel. Is it me? Can I hear something? Is it me or?
I think someone's got cars driving past their house.
Oh, okay, got it.
Is it Steve? Steve.
I've got my windows open, bruv. So do you want me to mute the thing or I'll mute it?
Yeah. Put it on mute when you're not speaking. I'll do it. It's done.
How I see it is two ways. All right. The player. Now, everyone has the right to criticize footballers because at the end of the day, they're out there, right? So you pay your ticket, you pay your monies to go and watch the game, and if you feel someone's not performing, and you start asking the question as to why he's in the team, or even more so, why is he not in his club team and yet being called up for the national team and then performing for the national team? So there's that side of it, and then there's the human side of it, where things such as movements like hashtag be kind and all of that stuff, mental health and all of that gets all spoken about, but yet whilst there's people that promote it, talk about it, blah blah blah, how we react is completely the opposite. So it's a little bit, for me, that side of things needs to be looked at, because what we say and what we actually do are two different things. Now, for me, Harry Maguire, I mean, what happened the other night for England, it's purely, I agree with the two lads. So forgive me, man, your names.
It's Gilly.
I saw G-Chain and I saw, what's my man?
Gilly and G.
Gilly and G. I agree with the guys, man. Southgate is massively responsible because his ego allowed all of that to happen. Maguire, if he really wants him to be part of this, for me, if you want to stand by someone, call him up for the national team. Even if he ain't, I disagree with it, by the way. But if you want to agree, call him up for the national team. But why have you got to put him on the firing line, man? Why do you need to put him in a fire? You know he's got bare heat on him. He's got loads of heat on him, all right? And you think to yourself, right, you know what? As part of a manager, part of a coaching, or part of a setup, you got to sense the moment. You got to understand what's surrounding a player. And in this moment right now, because football is always about moments, and the good thing about football, the best thing about football, is that one moment, a negative moment, can quickly change to a positive, and vice versa. In a matter of just like that. So if you have a sense of the moment of what Maguire's going through, why would you put him in a firing line? Are you doing him a service, or are you just feeding into your ego? That's what I would ask Southgate, because Southgate, by making that move, all he wanted to do is make a point against everyone else to say, he's my man, I'm playing him. But what's happened is that moment for Maguire is not been a positive one. So the negative is it's ongoing, and all he's done by feeding his own ego is actually put more fire on Maguire.
Fuel on the fire. That's what I said.
Yeah, so it's completely that it's completely and utterly wrong. On that side of it, from a fan's point of view, man, at the end of the day, you got to look at it. Fans have the right to voice their opinion. The fans, they will look at players where Maguire's playing. You're thinking, how is it that you have a player that's playing regularly for his club, be it in this country or in Tomori's case, where he plays abroad, plays every week, and he cannot make the English, he can't make the first 11. And you think, this is a guy that plays regular football. Same could be said about Phillips. You got James Ward-Prowse, who plays regularly for West Ham, can't get in. He can't even get in a team, or in a squad. And there's Calvin Phillips playing when he can't even get a minute or two for Man City. So what's that all about? I thought being called up for the national team should be on merit of what you do for your club. That's completely gone out of the window. So there is an element of favouritism in regards to the fact that. You got to ask yourself, the fact that Maguire's mum had to get involved tells you that it's gone beyond football criticism. This is going personal. People going into sliding his DMs, they're going into him like, and this is a society problem, man. The fact that every time one person says something, two people say something, and then it's that fucking army of people who just jumping on. Yeah, exactly that. They jump on that bandwagon, even if they don't know what's going on. They're just enjoying the drama and they just want to latch to it. And that is social media. That is social media in one for you. Everyone just latches onto it and they're just pumping it. And I say what I said at the beginning. Where's the be kind movement? Where's the fucking come on, man? This is going beyond the joke now.
Yeah, but hold on, Iggy. When fans are paying £500
I said that. Criticizes performances.
England
criticizes performances, but we're going beyond footballing performance. We're going on to personal, man. We're going in personal.
And you know what that is, Iggy? I say things when I'm watching football and I'm not on a watch along, and I'm sure we've all been to football matches. We've said some horrendous things in the heat of the moment. But with Twitter, now people feel like that they can.
It always happens. Still, it happened. The Euro final. The Euro final. Hang on, still the Euro final.
When I see Chicken Royale play for Spurs, I give him shit because I don't want to see him on the pitch because I think he's.
But you don't go personal on him, though. You don't. It's not on him. Like you're cussing him from his footballing. You're cussing his footballing.
Just like if you see a bad movie.
What happened with Saka and Rashford and who's the other player? Sancho missed a penalty. Did they cuss him for missing a penalty, or did it all go beyond and everyone just jumped in on that?
That for me, Saka, he knew as soon as he missed a penalty, he's going to get thousands of.
You knew that. It's
calling him a black sheep and a monkey. His mum didn't come out and say, "Oh,
I agree. I agree with that. The mum thing was a
personal, Iggy, about Maguire. You tell me maybe what you think they're targeting him about personally. I think from what I've seen, everyone's saying he shouldn't be on the pitch because he doesn't play club football. Mm-hmm. And when he is on the pitch, he's no good because he's giving away own goals and stuff. So unless I've missed something, I don't see there being any personal abuse. I just see it being criticism. And don't get me wrong, fans are rude and out of order and stuff like that. You know what football fans are like, right? So the only criticism I'm saying on Maguire is what he's doing on the pitch. And for me, I think that's kind of, fair, all fair in love and war. If you start, like you said, Iggy, someone criticizing him personally about his, I don't know, life or family or something like that, then I agree 100%. That's how it balance.
I just think it's a bit overboard, man. Because listen, I'll be honest with you. I don't think his performances for England, at least, they haven't been that bad. I don't think they have been. You can argue, is his call ups merited? Of course it isn't, because he's not playing for club football. And I agree with you guys when it comes to that. And I say the same thing with Calvin Phillips. Why does he not get that heat when he plays for England? He doesn't get that same heat. So what I'm saying is, it's exactly two same scenarios, but one's not playing club. Both of them not playing club football. They're in the national team, but there's complete Calvin Phillips in midfield might get away with it. In defence, you know what it's like. You make a mistake, bang.
That's the thing, isn't it, Iggy? You know, you score an own goal. I mean, you're going to get heat, bro. You know, so
because no one's talking about Calvin Phillips on Sky Sports, on Talk Sport, because Calvin Phillips, when he plays for his team, he does okay. But Maguire, when he plays for United, is
when does he play
rubbish.
for his team, man? When does he play for his team?
No, when. I said when.
England.
He played for Leeds United for a couple of seasons. He was really good.
Yeah. In 2000, Euro 2020.
Yeah, but when's Maguire been good? When has Maguire been good?
I tell a lie. Hang on. It wasn't even Euro 2020, man. We're going as back as World Cup in Russia. That's the last time he played like he was playing regular football. In Russia in 2018, man. We're in 2023. This geezer ain't been playing football since he left Leeds, man. How long has he been at City?
That's summer in the Euros. It was after his season at Leeds. Obviously, I'm an England fan, so I'll go to all the games. So that summer, yeah. But then,
mate, since then, 3 years now. 3 years.
He was a good player.
2021.
He is a good player. But I don't think Maguire has done a disservice whenever he's represented England. I have to say that.
Question. That's why Maguire. You just said Calvin Phillips is a good player. That's why Maguire gets the heat.
Has Maguire performed terribly for England? We all have shit games. We've all had shit games.
But it's not just England. It's not just England. He's getting booed at Man United. He goes to every away ground for Man United, and the away fans get on his case because they know he's going to get rattled because he knows he's under pressure because he's not doing well. He's getting it everywhere he goes at the moment.
But like I said, it's a mob mentality, man. Everyone just lynches on him, man. You think let me tell you this. Do you think Richarlison, after this situation with the mental health, do you think he's not going to get pelleted now going to all the away grounds? He's going to get it hard, man. If he thinks he's got it hard now, and this is why people don't talk about.
He's another rubbish player.
I'm fine with all of that. I'm fine cussing a player in the performance. Say, you know what? Today he was shit. He's going to get hammered. He got 5 out of 10. Cuss him. But I just feel like there's maybe my man G. Maybe I'm missing something as well because I don't understand this media storm because a manager of England is choosing to pick him every single game where he's not playing club football. And I don't get it myself. I really don't. But you know what? And I say it again. The other night, this is on Southgate, man, because he could have called him up and you know what? Say, you know what, brother? At the moment, things are not going well for you. You're in the setup. You're in my mind. You know what? Just ride this out. And when the good times come again, man, you'll get back in the fold.
The problem is, Iggy, no one in this country wants Harry Maguire doesn't feel Harry Maguire should play for England because playing for your country should be the biggest thing for you, right? So in order to do that, you need to perform at club level, be consistent, be better than your peers who play in the same position as you, and earn your place in that team. Yeah. So when the whole country doesn't want Harry Maguire to play there, the Southgate, because of what's happened in the past, wants to make an issue about playing him there, like you said, to prove he's stubborn or whatever, or he relies on him. That's fine. That's his decision. But then if you're going to make that decision when the whole country doesn't want him to play, you bring him in and he scores his own goal. Like, come on, man. Like,
this is what I'm saying. Southgate is doing a disservice to Maguire because if he had left him home this round of games, I think he would have probably gained from being out of that limelight or gained from being out of that international call-up 100%. And call him further that and maybe against Scotland. Why was there the need to bring him on against Scotland in a friendly when you got other players who ain't even getting a minute for England, but yet playing regularly for their teams? And I mentioned it before, James Ward-Prowse and Tomori, and I mean I could be mentioning other names in that England setup.
You know where else Southgate screwed up? He said all that time ago, you earned this national team spot off meritocracy. And he is picking Maguire, the least qualified on meritocracy, to get in that team, and then Southgate defends it. That's why, because he's a liar. He said that meritocracy. No, it's not meritocracy. You have your favorites. You didn't need to. Again, Southgate talking too much.
But Steve, you see what
the other thing is too. I don't agree about the abuse being over the top because I just said 2 examples of players that got worse abuse. Figo got a pig's head thrown at him when he went to the new camp. David Beckham hung stuff. When
he got sent off for England, But do you not feel like, you know, like in the chat they're saying, look, Iggy shouldn't be playing for England. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying, how is it Maguire's fault that he's playing for England?
It's
It's
Southgate's
the
fault.
manager's calling him up. It's the manager saying, Steve, get changed, get on the pitch. What are you going to do, man? Like, not turn up for the call up? Not play? Because the manager
play.
should be taking that criticism, not the
100%.
player.
To be honest, it's going to
100%.
stop now because all the media today are all like, "Oh, let's get off his back," and so it's all gonna die down. Now.
It's all.
You know what? The other thing, actually. Oh, sorry, Iggy, go on.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say, the other reason why I criticize Maguire more, like him as a player, also because he himself said, "I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove, but you play like that." That's the problem. And again, if he didn't say that, maybe people would be less harsh. It's those kind of comments, the meritocracy comment that Southgate made. That doesn't help. It's the fact that Maguire said he has nothing left to prove. Yes, you do. You have a lot to prove.
Do you know what? Steve's got a point here because Iggy, as Spurs fans, we got angry with Eric Dyer because Eric Dyer demanded a meeting with Daniel Levy to find out why Ange isn't picking him for the team.
We're like, is that allegedly though?
Well, whatever. He wasn't being picked. So Steve's got a point, hasn't he? Like when players don't players say things that put themselves in the mud.
In regards to Eric Dyer is another.
Not just Eric Dyer, any player, could be anyone.
Listen, at the end of the day, these players are all under contract. All right, what you need to do, the manager has to make a choice as to who he picks, week in, week out. Okay, he picks his 11, he picks his substitutes, and there will be players.
Maguire posted his own stats on Instagram. I mean, what's he want?
This is just like, this is just there are things that players do. There are things that players absolutely don't help themselves as well, such as that. He could have a media management that can be sorting out his socials, and that's just stupid. But what I will say in regards to the manager selects the team, you are as a player contracted to train with the team. You're not contracted to play, you're contracted to train. So what you do is you do your job on a day-to-day basis, and come to the weekend, the manager decides if you get selected to play at whichever point he wants, be it from the start or the subs. That's not under his control. That's the manager's control. What you have to do as a club is to make sure that player is getting treated the same as everyone else. So there's no situation where he's been ostracized or he's been, because he doesn't want to leave the club to go somewhere else, like I heard Maguire, West Ham, you don't then ostracize and then kind of like bully him to say, you're training alone, you're no longer part of the squad, fuck you. Because in any line of work, man, that would be harassing and bullying. That part can't happen. You still have to treat him as part of the squad because he's contracted by the club to be part of the squad.
Do you know what, guys? You know who really is to blame overall? Daniel Levy. Levy.
I agree.
Harry Maguire is shit, and England conceded their own goal. So let's move it on to talking about Tottenham and Daniel Levy, because I've got a few things I want to talk to Stella about.
You want to go in on Levy, and I hear you.
I've got a few things I want a few home truths I want to.
You're on the right channel.
basically, in our university group, I put this in the group today, and they all got triggered, right? Postecoglou, manager of the month. Maddison, manager of the month. And I basically said, Maddison, listen, 40 million, 30 million, whatever you want to call it.
Sorry, why are people getting triggered? Because I don't believe that they didn't deserve that. They didn't deserve that.
I'll tell you. No, Girish is going to tell us. So, okay. and I said, Declan Rice 105 million, and Maddison's getting man of the month. And then Gilly also said, there's better players that should have got it. So listen, I've said my bit. Over to you lot, and we can have this one out.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So my view was.
Oh, sorry, Gilly. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think the manager. I think he deserved manager of the month. As I said, he's coming to a new league. He's got a squad which isn't nowhere near as good as Pep's or all the other managers. He's not played against a lot of these teams before. He deserves it. As for Maddison getting it, I don't know. I don't think he was the best player in the last 4 games.
Deserving?
You could pick any one of the Man City players. Rodri, for example, he's been excellent. He's player of the match in 3 matches, I think, for those guys. You've got, I mean, I haven't watched loads of football, but you could pick one of the Liverpool midfielders. Szoboszlai's been brilliant. Does he deserve man? Maybe not. I'm just saying, if you look at pure stats, I think I was mentioning this earlier, there's better players. James Ward-Prowse, for example, scored a couple of good goals. He's had good performances. He's got West Ham where they are. He could have had it as well. I just think, have they looked at it and said, well, yeah, 30 million and he's doing really, really well. Has Price played a part, or the fact that he's moved to Spurs played a part in him getting that? Because I don't think he's ever won it at Leicester, and he's had better months. And then you've got Haaland, who scored 6 goals and got an assist in 4 games, and there's no mention. Is that because we're just used to Haaland's getting it all the time?
Do you know what I think it is? Do you know what I think it is? Because I go to the games, and if I don't go to the games because they're away from home, we do like a watch along. So we watch the games and we do like a live show. One thing I'll say about Maddison this season, no one expected Spurs to be playing this well this soon, right? Postecoglou, if you look at his track record, he plays football the nice way, but Maddison is a massive part of it. Like I always thought Maddison, like if you look at his stats historically, he always scores goals and he always creates goals. So his assists and goals are actually very good. He's always been good. What I didn't realize is his dribbling ability. This guy has been ripping teams apart. Literally, he gets the ball, he skins 2 players, and everything opens up. And he's done it every single game. And for me, I think when you look at that, plus the way we're playing, I think if you take Maddison out of this team, we're not winning all these games. No way. And I think that's what's done it. I think that's why he's got it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't disagree. I wasn't upset with him getting it. I think he's a great player. I'm glad that he's kicked on actually proving people, because he used to have injuries all the time, and I don't think his head was quite in it at Leicester. He was kind of good one week, shit the other week. I think, as Shami said in the group, he was like, yeah, sometimes he's good when he wants to be, or things are going his way. When things aren't going their way, he's kind of head down, not chasing back, not doing the other part of football, which is when he hasn't got the ball.
Maddison don't defend. Maddison doesn't defend. He doesn't defend.
Yeah, but everybody has to defend.
He doesn't track back. He's always going to be more on the attacking front. Anyway, Girish, what was it? Come on, let's hear it. What is it?
This is what I want to say, right? I don't care that Maddison and Ange won Player of the Month and Manager of the Month. For me, I'm the kind of football fan. Like I said to you, when I watch a game or when I watch Spurs United, I don't care who wins. I just want to see a good game, good football, and whoever deserves to win. That's why I texted you straight away going, how good is it watching Spurs play like that on the front foot? See, I'm that kind of football fan. I'm not like in the mud and you're a fraud, and I don't care about any of that stuff. Yeah, I love the sport. I love the game. Yeah, that's why I've called in today, Iggy. But the thing that gets me with Stowe is
all these live.
If Spurs,
you're in the mud. You tell us that.
Exactly, yeah. Whenever Spurs play well, it's
a
masterclass. It's Maddison skinning players. It's this, it's that. We've got the best front three. He's been better than Basuma's been better than Rice. This person's been better than and then as soon as it comes to you coming to the Emirates and you're playing us, bro, your arsehole goes, man. You go, we're gonna lose. And then if you do lose, it's Levy out. So when you win, it's a Conte or Ange ball.
No, I'm still Levy out. 1 minute, I'm still Levy out.
No, but you only Levy out when you lose.
I'm Levy out now. Right now, I'm Levy out.
Let me have my say. Let me have my say, then you can respond, innit? So all right, you got me to the point today where I've had enough now, bro. Because it's literally like when you guys do well, it's down to the manager and the players. As soon as there's a chink, as soon as there's something that goes a little bit wrong, the managers and players are blameless. They are not accountable. They are not accountable for anything. It's all Daniel Levy. It's Daniel Levy's fault. It doesn't work like that, bro.
17 managers in 23 years, and you don't want to hold the chairman accountable. You want me to blame the managers.
Let me finish, then you can have your say. For me, with a football club, to be successful or to fail, all parties are accountable. It can't just be, it's Daniel Levy when we lose and it's the manager when we win. It doesn't work like that, bro. Conte had that massive epic round, which was brilliant, by the way, because he had enough of the players. The players? What about the players? He was just sick of the players not being held accountable and only everyone, the media, trying to sort of sharpen their knives for him. And if you have that mentality where at the start of the season, you're telling me you've got the best front three, Kulusevski's better than Saka, Son's world class, and this and that. Let me post a screenshot where you said you were
No,
the best
I
front
said
three.
under Conte, the last 4 months when we got top 4 and we beat you to it, Kulusevski was outperforming Saka in that period, and he was. He was in that period.
You could say, okay, the last month, I don't know, Madison's outperformed everybody. You know, we're talking about football, yeah? So if you're going to come with chest and say, right, we've got the best front three, we've got this.
I'm saying the facts of the moment, G. That was the facts of the moment.
But then at the end of the season, what happened? Son had a stinker, Kulusevski had a stinker, but you don't want to hold him accountable.
Son needed a hernia operation, and he came out into the season saying, "I've been playing 60%. I need an operation."
Though, you never want to hold. If you when you get top 4, it's Conte done miracles. The players are amazing. Last season, when you declined at the end and dipped because obviously the whole feel good factor had gone. And
you lot said get rid of Conte. We got rid of him and we fell apart.
No,
I said,
let me finish. So what I'm trying to say is when things are going well, it's down to the manager and the players. When things are not going well, it's Daniel Levy's fault. Bro, come on, man. You can't be, No.
See, this is where so many fans. One minute.
This manager's a fraud. This player.
No, but you lot win trophies. Hold on. You win trophies.
No, you speak.
You lot win trophies. Out of the top 6 clubs, Spurs have been a disaster for 20 years. United, even when they're shit, they still pick up a trophy. Liverpool, even when they're not playing great, they pick up a trophy. You lot, we finished above you lot for 7 years in a row, and you still picked up 2 or 3 FA Cups. Everyone wins trophies but Spurs. Why? If you want to blame the managers, that's cool. But we've been through 17 managers in 20 years. They're all shit, are they? They're all rubbish. They're all frauds. Conte's won everywhere he's been. Comes to Spurs, no good. Mourinho wins everywhere he goes. Even when he went to Roma, he picked something up in his first season after Tottenham. He comes to us, nothing. Every manager that comes to Spurs fails. Why? There has to be a bigger factor. And for me, it's obvious. It's Levy. This guy's a terrible man.
You can't say for example Conte last season, you lost to Sheffield United's youth team. They basically made 10 changes to their team, and I think you made 6 or 7 changes as well.
Yeah.
Like a game of football is a manager and his 11 players going on the pitch competing against another club's 11 players and manager. The players you have on the pitch and the manager you have are more than capable of beating Sheffield United's under 18s team, whatever they were, under 21 team.
100%.
So you can't, but then on the group you're putting Levy out posters and hundreds of messages.
Because
you don't blame. And hang on a minute, let me finish. You don't blame the players or the manager. And what I'm saying still is,
I do blame the players. I do blame the players. I blame the players. They shouldn't be a top.
You guys does Stell ever blame the players or the manager? You're always saying Levy out. It's no one.
I call him Chicken Royale. I cuss the shit out of Richarlison. I go in on every player. Ben Davies. I've lost my mind with Ben Davies. I go in.
There's a couple of players like Dyer that you like. Like Dyer might not even be on the pitch, but he's the reason why you lose the game. Like I don't know.
Davis, as part of the squad, I don't mind. Dyer is outstayed his welcome. Luis should have gone, and Richarlison is simply not good enough. What I'll say, just to round up, Man United have won trophies. They still want the Glazers out. You guys, up to not long ago, man, Kroenke out. You and Arteta out was during lockdown was mad, and it was the fact that there was no fans in the stadium was what saved Arteta's ass, because he overrode. He got away with that part where there was no fans in the stadium and came out of it the other end. Even with Arteta winning an FA Cup, so he's won already something more than what we have. Your Kroenke's out and your Glazers out was still all right. Now it's different because are you going to say Kroenke out when he spent nearly £500 million on the market?
You spent 20 million less on us. Our squad cost 740 million. Your squad cost 720. And I know what you're going to say. We've had 4. Listen, I know what you're going to say.
One project.
Okay, so then. And this is what I hear you say on your channel all the time, Stel. I never wanted Pochettino to go. I never wanted Mourinho to go. I always back managers. Bro, let's put the screenshots on the screen. Let's put the screenshots of what you said at the time, because you said you wanted Pochettino out. You said you wanted Jose out. So don't come on here, brother, and say, I've always wanted managers. I've always backed the managers. Because the facts are you didn't. And look,
one second. No. You're taking it out of context.
Let's do this properly.
Yes. What I said was What I said was, if they're going to get rid of Poch, right, and this guy doesn't want Poch, then and Mourinho's going to come in, then yeah, I want Poch out because Mourinho's a proven winner, and this guy will win us a trophy. And I was right. He got us to a cup final. I was spot on. But what happened? Your boy Daniel Levy got rid of Mourinho 5 days before a cup final. He sacked the most prolific manager in world football 5 days before a cup final to put in Ryan Mason, age 29. And for the record, when he got the job, I was more qualified as a coach than Ryan Mason. He shut his bed. So he shut the bed. We lost the final. So I was right to say, yeah, I want Mourinho in because he would have won us. I reckon he would have won us that trophy. And
you know what's funny, guys?
We would have
this screenshot. You know what's funny? I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm telling Stell, you sold. I'm reading here. You sold your soul to the devil, getting rid of a manager like Pochettino and bringing in Mourinho. And then you guys can see what Stell said.
Behind Poch, I wanted Poch to stay. I wanted Poch to stay.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. But when Mourinho came on the market and everything had collapsed at Spurs, I said, fine. I'll go with Mourinho because I know this guy's a winner and I want a trophy. I'm not like most Spurs fans. Most Spurs fans are just happy with pretty football. They just want sexy football. I'm done with that. I've watched it under Redknapp. I've watched it under Poch. I don't want sexy football. I want trophies. If we get nice football and trophies, brilliant. But I want trophies. Spurs are a different club to you guys. You guys still get trophies when you're shit. When we're shit, we get nothing. When we're good, we still get nothing. That has to change, and that's where my mindset's different to a lot of Spurs fans. Most Spurs fans would agree.
Okay, so you're talking about trophies, yeah? You're talking about trophies. Put up the screenshots I've sent you. Put them up, and we'll talk about trophies, yeah? On WhatsApp, I've just WhatsApped them to you. Let's talk about trophies, bruv, because I can't lie, bro. It was about 4 years ago. I was saying to you, Poch is doing a great job, but sport is about winning. You have to win something when you're on top.
Of course it is. In the top six,
and
the top six,
I hear
the only one that
now
happened.
as well on this channel. He always says, "I don't care about top four and how little money. So I want to win trophies." This is what I've been saying to him for years and years and years. Yeah.
No, 1 minute. See, this is out of context again. When Poch come in, I could see progression.
You clearly say you want top four over trophies. Put it up. Put it up. Let's talk about it.
No, Girish. Where have I said that here? 1 minute, let me read this before I'm putting
Just put them up, and then we can all read it together. Put them up, we can all read it together, yeah?
I would take a season out top four for a trophy, without a shadow of a doubt.
I would at Newcastle.
Girish, 1 minute, Girish. This is 5 years ago. This is 5 years ago.
I back every manager, bruv. You wanted Poch out, you wanted Mourinho
Girish,
out.
This is 5 years ago. 1 minute, this is 5 years ago. This is 5 years ago.
This is 3 years ago. But I'll show you. I've got a whole sequence of screenshots. Don't worry. This is the start, bro.
Receipts,
boy.
Receipts
This is going to be a cookie. So put them up and let's talk about it.
Listen. No, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up because I'll debunk all of this.
Bring it up.
I will bring it up.
You lot are savage, man. Receipts have been kept for years.
I'm telling you, because what's annoying, Iggy, is like I said. He basically tries to make out, and the thing is, he calls out other YouTube channels for saying, "Oh, I always back the managers. You guys never back the managers, bro." I want to show you screenshots.
Call him out.
He wanted Pochettino out.
1 minute, Iggy, don't be disingenuous. Don't be disingenuous. Who backs managers more than me at Tottenham? Don't be disingenuous.
Listen, all right, stop. On the channel, you've always backed our managers, but I don't know about these texts. Like, I don't know.
Let me show you.
I don't know what you're saying.
The community. Let me enlighten the community. Let's all look at it together.
We're not going to
make our own minds up.
I can only tell you what it says on here.
We can make our own minds up, guys. I don't care if you agree or not, whatever. Listen, by the way, we are friends. We're like, all of us are best friends. It's not personal. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so just between to everyone,
but
it's what they call British banter. British banter.
Yeah, it's football.
What I don't want to know is
what I've said to him all this time is.
I took more heat than any other YouTuber for defending Conte and Mourinho. Nobody got the heat I got. So for you to come in with this and just give it the larger, it's bullshit, man. All right,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Simple, isn't it? And everyone can see what your thoughts are, what you think, and then we can discuss it. Yeah.
Right, you explain it, then I'll reply.
Okay, sorry. Where's the? Yeah. So what does it say right there? Right now, if you gave me 10th and the FA Cup or top 4 and no trophy, I'll take top 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I say to you, Levy has literally sold his soul. Yeah, bringing in sacking Pochettino. So I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm saying to you, you shouldn't sack Pochettino. Yeah, I'm saying, mate, like he's a good manager. And look what you're saying. Who else are we going to bring in?
Right,
Something had to be
right.
done.
See, this is where there's no context with what you're doing, right?
No,
the beginning of what I said. No. My turn to debunk this. Yeah. The first two words I say right now. The moment that this text happened was when Spurs, for the first time in my life, were becoming a Champions League contender. And I saw a direction of Spurs I've never seen before. I never thought Spurs would get top 4, and I never thought Spurs would challenge for a league title. And under Pochettino, I believed, because I wasn't Levy out under Poch. I was only Levy out when Poch got sacked. So under Pochettino, I honestly believed if we got top 4, the money we would get, we would go on and be unbelievable. And do you know what happened? Levy didn't deliver. We went 2 years without buying players, and then Poch got the sack. So in that moment, 100% I wanted top 4 because that was the progression. But once we sacked Poch, I was done with top 4. I was done with Levy. I became Levy out and just trophies. So there's no context with this.
So okay, so you're saying that you wanted after Levy sacked Poch, which you're saying you didn't want to happen, even though it obviously says there that you did. You're saying that after that,
what did I say? Who else can we bring in? Because we were 15th. We're getting relegated. He wasn't going to back Poch. I wanted Poch to stay. I wanted Poch to be backed. But Levy had made up his mind. And if the alternative was Jose, a trophy winner, at a stage where now I want trophies, bring him in. I want the trophy.
Yeah. So rather than what I was saying as an Arsenal fan, why don't you just give Poch time to turn it around and back him? You wanted to bring in the proven winner and back him instead.
No. That was only no. From what I understand from
I'm asking a style question. Sorry, Steve. So just to clarify what your thoughts are, then I can answer back. So at the time, what did you think? Did you want Pochettino to stay and Levy to back him, or did you want Mourinho to come in and Levy to back Mourinho?
I wanted Poch to stay and to be backed, but it was clear that Levy wasn't going to do that. It was clear that after that we got to the Champions League final, lost to Gillies boys, right? In that summer, I thought, right, Spurs are hot property now. We've never been this hot. Champions League finalists, challenging for league titles, Champions League money again. Let's go in the summer and do what Liverpool did the year before when they bought Van Dijk and Alisson. 2 massive signs. I thought, come on, Spurs, go and do it. We go and fucking sign Sessegnon and Lo Celso. It was done.
And Ndombele, your record signing.
Yeah, and then Ndombele, but
oh, you forgot about 70 million. Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, we can forget about that 70 million.
Fair enough. But that, no,
bro,
fair enough.
Man, come on, man.
No, fair enough. I'm conceding it. I give that. Yes, record signing. But at the same time we signed Ndombele, Ericsson wanted out, and Ericsson down tools. So we lost Ericsson as well. So we were in the mud.
We behaved atrociously.
So if I'm an Arsenal fan at the time saying to you, Pochettino gets you playing the right way, you're having a difficult period. My opinion is stick with him and he'll get you out of it.
I agree. Gee, what the issue is,
but
mate?
we were 15.
Go on.
But
what the problem was?
Look at the message here. We were 15th. We were 15th.
No, that was the season after. That was the season after. What happened is we didn't buy anyone. We didn't get rid of. We had players with contracts issues, and there was clearly unrest. He wanted certain players out before the season started. That didn't happen. Those players then turned against him, down tools, and we started going 15th, 16th, and that was on the back of like the what we had just achieved. The problem was,
after you lost the Champions League final, and after you spent Levy finally. Like I agree with everything before 2019. I agree. Levy hardly ever put his hand in his pocket for you guys. But what I find strange is ever since he started to do it, so you've only spent 20 million less than Arsenal. Your team is 720 million.
He's spending out of sheer panic.
Let me finish, Iggy. So the thing that puzzles me is, so Pochettino got to the Champions League final. You lost that game, fair enough. Okay, but what an achievement, Pochettino getting you to the finals. And at that time, I thought you were brilliant. that's the difference between me and Stel. I would enjoy watching Tottenham because I like good football. I don't care about what happens. I'm not that kind of fan. I'm not.
Because you win trophies, G. You win trophies.
But what I'm trying to say, Stel, is even me as an Arsenal fan, I'm telling you, like, even though you're having a tough time, in my opinion, because I think you've got a good manager, you've got you playing the right way, stick with him and back him. You're trying to sort of say, oh no, the only reason why I agreed for Pochettino to go, even though on your stream every week you say you back managers all the time.
No, the timing of your text is key.
So yeah,
that was at the end of his reign. That was at
the end. Yeah, but
whilst he was up against it.
You were saying Levy was left with no chance. He had to do something. Those are your words. He had to do something, right?
He had to, yeah. I do, yeah. He had to. He either had to back Poch.
Backing Poch, bro. That's not saying you want a manager to stay.
No. 1 minute. Levy either had to back Pochettino and properly back him, or get rid of him if you're not going to back the guy.
And do what with Mourinho, and then do what with Mourinho? Back him?
Mourinho got us to a cup final, G. He got us to a final.
He could have backed.
And then Levy sacked him 5 days before the final.
If you're saying get rid of Pochettino because Levy won't back him, then why is he going to back Mourinho? Surely Levy should keep him and back Pochettino. No?
He spent 160 million under Mourinho. He went and spent.
This is the million. Hang on.
Yeah, so
time out.
The point is, I've heard you say on here a million times, I never wanted Pochettino to go. Now you're saying
I didn't.
You didn't.
I never wanted him gone.
Levy had to do something. We're 15th. We're.
Yes, I wanted Levy to back Poch. I wanted Poch to. I thought he had enough credit in the bank to be fully backed, not 150. Listen, since we've sacked Poch, we've spent 700 million. I don't know the amount. Whatever, you lot can pick whatever the amount is. Poch said we need to go for a painful rebuild. We've got the nice house, the stadium. Now we need the nice furniture, the players. If we spent the money we've spent the last 4 years under Poch, I reckon we would have been unbelievable. Instead,
that's what I was saying. Stick with him.
Yeah, but this is why I'm leaving out. This is why I'm leaving out because he spent the money. But G, he didn't listen to Poch. 1 minute, he didn't listen to Poch. Instead, what Levy did was
he done what you wanted.
He spent the money. No, he spent the money on 4 different managers. I never wanted Nuno. I never wanted Ryan Mason or
you
Stellini.
wanted Poch out and you wanted Mourinho out. I've got your stuff. I
wanted Mourinho. I wanted Mourinho out. Once Mourinho wanted out, I
think you guys are crossing the times, man. All I'm trying to say in this merit is this: up until that point where we was like before Pochettino got us to that final, we was on a good trajectory. All right, so there was no heat on Levy. There was no heat because we was enjoying the football. We was enjoying the team that we had. We went a season unbeaten in the last season at White Hart Lane. So everything was going to trade. The thing that turned us on Levy was the fact that right after that final was lost against Liverpool, that summer we should have gone double down and get those 3-4 quality players to then go again.
How much did you spend that summer?
Fuck all. What do we get?
100
what do we get? We got Ndombele. 60 of it was Ndombele.
After the Champions League,
50 or whatever he was. I don't know how much was he. 55 or something.
I'll tell you. We spent 65 on Ndombele. We spent 30 million on Sessegnon, and then we got Lo Celso on loan for 5 million with an option to buy a year later.
The next season.
But Lo Celso got injured, and so did Sessegnon. They both got injured for 2 months.
But the problem was
Levy's fault. No, you still invested though, right?
He did. What he did.
G, in the Champions League final against Liverpool, our midfield was Sissoko and Winks. Fucking Sissoko and Winks in a Champions League final, right? We needed to build a squad. We needed 5 or 6 top players. We didn't sign 1 in the summer. We didn't need 2 or 3. We need 6
midfielders. Then Ndombele and Lo Celso.
Lo Celso's not good.
But bro,
for that team at the time,
Pochettino wanted Bruno Fernandes, but we wouldn't pay £10 million.
We've got Sissoko and Winks. We needed to buy a new midfield, and you bought a new midfield.
No, I said quality. I said quality. Not quality.
Yeah, but 100 million on 2 players. That is what?
Yeah, but that's not the fact that he spent the money. Let's spend it badly, man. Who were these geezers? Did you know Ndombele before he came in? Lo Celso, the team that we had at the time, we required something else. What he did afterwards, because he didn't back Pochettino and everything started going downwards. If you think about it, Liverpool and Spurs were on the same sort of journey. The difference was straight after the European Cup. They carried on that journey, but also investing well. That's the difference. They started to invest well, and we went the other way. What he then does, how Levy moves after that is how Levy moves when he does fuck ups. He then spends money on it to try and cover that fuck up, to try and smoke and mirrors, man. That's the smoke and mirrors effect. You're right. Spurs have spent post Pochettino, but they've spent awfully bad, and it's always on the back of making mistakes. Look, we're paying Conte, we paid Mourinho X amount of money. Conte refused us, and then when Arsenal, hang on, G,
when we've been dodgy, we still won something, bro.
Yeah, I understand that, but if you notice with that Pochettino era, if you remember how things were going bad at Arsenal, if you think that they was getting pissed off with
FA Cups,
yes, that's the difference. That is the difference.
That's the point.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. You guys are blaming Daniel Levy for not winning a Carabao Cup or FA Cup. Why can't you win a Carabao Cup or FA Cup? You've got the players.
We sacked Mourinho before the final.
The priority for this board, even in that time, was always top four. Always top four above all else. Do you know when Mourinho got sacked? Do you know when Mourinho got sacked? 5 days before the final.
Top four was his priority over
do you know what? They had an argument because we had a midweek game against Southampton.
Yes,
we had a midweek game against Southampton. Mourinho, we had a game against Southampton midweek before the cup final, and he said he was giving
on our group. He wanted Mourinho sacked. Is when you lost to Dynamo Zagreb. You were 2-0 up. You let 3 goals in, and then
that was we lost that game, and it was a North London derby as well.
And that's when Stell on our group put Jose out. I want Jose out. Or
was
he put Jose out on all over our group.
This idea that we built after we won the Champions League is not true. We didn't sign anybody the season we won the league.
You signed Sepp Vandenberg and
Sepp Vandenberg, yeah, that's right.
No.
Yeah,
Iggy said.
You can imagine how we felt. Exactly the same boat as Spurs.
It wasn't a league. I'm talking about when you won the European Cup.
When you lost
the European Cup, we didn't sign anybody. We signed Stefan Vandenberg, whatever he's called. He's like 18 years old. That's the only player that we signed. So we're in the same.
You had a great squad, man. And I know you had a great squad.
But you guys are complaining about Levy don't spend no money. You guys went out and spent £100-something million, and we're sat there thinking, we just won the Champions League, and we signed an 18-year-old. No one's heard of defender. The guy he played like 2 games for us, right? So it's not. You can't just put the onus on Levy. It's not all Levy's fault. I'm with G on this one. You guys want to blame Levy, but there's 2 constants, right? Number one, it's never one person's fault. It's never Levy's fault or just the manager's fault or just the player's fault. But there's only 2 constants, and that seems to be Levy and the Spurs fans. So,
Gilly, any question?
You can't blame Levy. He's putting the money up.
No problem. Question. All right, question for you. All right, question for you. Let's go with what you've said. Let's say you're right. Why does every manager at Spurs win at every other club they're at, but when they come to Spurs, they fail?
Well, what are the 2 constants? Either you can blame Levy or you can blame the fans, because the fans are toxic as well.
We don't play on the pitch. What do you mean?
What is that?
How are the fans to blame?
Redknapp took 10 years ago. Got to do with Ange playing Fulham last week. Come on, man.
No, forget Ange. You just come here. I'm talking about the manager
where you like to kind of.
Forget Ange. Forget Ange. Forget Ange. He's only been here a minute. I'm talking about 17 managers that Levy sacked. The 17 managers.
2012 has no impact. It's
so let me ask you that you guys winning trophies. You guys winning trophies still want Arteta out? Not now. I'm talking about when he won trophies.
Don't talk for me. Don't talk for me. You can talk for yourself, but don't.
No. I'm talking. When I say you, I mean Arsenal. I don't mean you personally. I mean you as Arsenal.
Like I said, I'm a different kind of fan.
When I say you, I meant Arsenal. That's what I meant. I don't mean you personally. I mean you as Arsenal. Yeah, still want to Kroenke out.
Let me answer that. You see what you're saying here, Iggy, where you're like,
no, this is after winning trophies.
Would have been sacked. Now, the reason why you say that we have to do this and that, and Arteta has to win whatever, is because we Arsenal kept him. But you're basically saying
you backed him. That's what I'm trying to say. You've done the right thing. You backed him. You backed the young manager.
You wanted Poch out. You wanted Mourinho out. So
you're changing the subject. Do you know what, G? Your argument is I
Arsenal
asked you
stuck
one
with the
simple
same
question. No,
manager.
go back to the question.
We spent the same money. We spent the same money. But your argument is you've got no expectation. Your players aren't accountable. Your manager isn't accountable. Just because you've had 4 managers rather than 1.
No.
You wanted them out. You're
ranting,
them out, bruv.
You're ranting. You've strawmanned the argument. I'm going to go back to what I said. Just answer the question, and we go from there. Why has every manager under Levy that's come here? Why do they all fail at Tottenham? All of them. Yet most of them win everywhere else. Why? Answer me that.
The answer I just gave you. What has a game 10 years ago by one manager got to do with a game today with another manager?
Conte won a league title 3 years ago. Conte won a league title 3 years ago. Not 10.
Yeah, but look at the team he was with. He was with Inter Milan. You're Tottenham, bro.
Oh, the team.
You won the league.
Right, yes, Iggy. Yes, G. Yes. Look at the team he's at.
Yeah, but you're basically saying, unless you're putting expectations
on. You just answered the question.
No, I've answered the question. You saying why has no manager won anything? And I'm saying to you, it's got no relevance.
Harry
Redknapp picked in 2012.
Why has it got no relevance? They win everywhere else.
No, but a team Harry Redknapp picked in 2012. What's that got to do with Ange last week against Fulham?
Isn't it all right?
Okay, Conte and Mourinho. They're both winning.
Okay, so Harry Redknapp and Conte. Harry Redknapp won the FA Cup with Pompey. So Harry Redknapp team that he picked in 2012 in the FA Cup that lost in the 4th round. How is that relevant to what happened against Fulham that Ange done last week?
Forget Ange. Gigi, you're going off on one.
Conte last year, Sheffield United.
Ange hasn't been. I'm asking you the question, G. Why? No, G. I asked the question. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I said.
I'm answering saying you're asking me a question, suggesting that there's something related to a team.
You tell me. No, if it's Conte, why did Conte fail at Spurs? Yet everywhere else he's a winner. Why at Spurs? What happened?
Well, the team choices that he made at the time. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not expecting you to win the Premier League. Do you understand? But I'm expecting you to beat Sheffield United's youth team, and I'm expecting you to win. Who was the other team you lost to? Borough. Borough's team. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, these games.
Every manager at Spurs.
You can't go on the group and say Levy's fault.
Here's the problem. Jose lost to Norwich, who got relegated. We went out of the cup. Pochettino lost to Colchester United. They were like 70 place in the league below us. Went out of the cup. Conte lost to Sheffield United. Went out of the cup. And Postecoglou lost to Fulham the other night out of the Carabao Cup.
But how is that related?
Well, I don't know
how it's related.
I don't know. They all seem to come to Spurs and forget how to manage. They forget how to do things correctly.
It's not related, is it?
Here's a question. Here's a question.
How can the 11 players and the manager on the pitch?
There's a running theme. There's a running theme. The cups are not a priority for Spurs. They're not. Exactly. Domestic cups are not. Top 4 is
Ange to rest 9 players, to make 9 changes.
There's an ongoing theme amongst all these managers over the years. They don't do well in the cups. They go out. You just said it. Borough, Forest, Fulham. There's an ongoing different managers, but there's still an ongoing theme. The demand is to make top 4 because that's the interest. That is the sole interest of this ownership.
Answer me this question live on YouTube. The fact Ange made 9 changes against Fulham and went out, is that who's responsible for? Who do you think?
Who's responsible?
No, listen. At the end of the day, even if there was a conversation, we don't know. Even if there had been a conversation, ultimately the team that gets picked by the manager. We said the same thing about Southgate earlier on, so I have to be consistent and say the team is picked by the manager. He could have turned around and said, "You know what? I'll make changes, but I ain't going to make 9, 10." So listen.
Do you honestly believe that in August, Levy's going to say to Ange Postecoglou, "You have to play the reserves"?
The only thing I would say to that is that I think with the transfer market fast closing and the fact that we needed to ship a few players out from that team, which ultimately Sanchez left, Højbjerg was on the verge of leaving, although he didn't end up leaving. There was 1 or 2 we was putting out there to try and utilize that game. Wrongly, by the way. I think it's a bad decision to do that, but wrongly did that. But I think they used that to try and get the last bit of deals out. That's how I see it.
For me, that's the reason why you haven't won cups, because you make so many changes or whatever on the day.
Because it's not a priority. That's what I'm saying. They play Russian roulette with those cups.
Let me show you something. Let me show everyone something.
But what Stell's saying about it's been 10 managers.
For me,
17 and in 23 years of this ownership.
In 10
Girish,
years
let me show you
ago,
something.
11 players on a football pitch now.
Let me show you something, right? And you not tell me what you think of this, okay? Bear in mind, when Poch left, he had some comments to say about the owners. When Mourinho left, he took a dig at Levy. Conte publicly blew up Levy in the club, right? They all seem to have a dig at the ownership when they leave, which says something's going on.
Kane just did it.
Harry Kane, I'm going to show you. Harry Kane, last week, this is what he said, yeah. We wanted to win at Spurs, but if you went a couple of games without winning, it wasn't a disaster. At Bayern, you have to win every game. After winning 3-1 and 4-0 at Bayern in our first 2 games, there was talk about not getting too happy about the way we played. Top club mentality. That mentality, yeah, that he talks about, every player that's left us, Modric, Carrick, Berbatov, Kane, Kyle Walker, they all leave and then they start dissing the mentality of Tottenham. Where does this mentality come from? Because for me, it starts at the top of the club, the ambition. And this is the basis of my argument. Every manager that leaves has to cuss us. Every top player that leaves has to cuss us. After the first 5-10 managers, I'm on your side. I'm with you, Girish. I'm like, these managers are a joke. What are they doing? But after 17 managers and some top managers, it's still happening. I can't blame managers anymore.
Yeah, what Conte said. Let me reply. If you listen to Conte's interview, what did he say? The players? What about the players? What did he say? They're used to here. They're used to here. They don't want to play under pressure. They don't want to play under stress. He's talking about players not taking responsibility and accountability.
Agreed.
He also said
last season, every time you lose, it wasn't, this player didn't. Every time I said to you, this player hasn't played well, that player's not performing. You're like, no, it's Levy's fault. We haven't got enough of us. Bro, you need. Conte said to you, to all of you, your whole club and your fans, that there's no pressure at this club. There's no,
But who sets the tone?
And
who sets the tone at every work, every job?
Any Spurs fan who I think is literally the living embodiment of that is actually you, Stel, because anytime you lose, you don't ever blame the players or the manager. Like you literally watched Son and Kulusevski have a stinker last year, and there's nothing, you don't talk about it.
I just said to you, I'm not blaming managers anymore.
Let me finish, then you can reply. Let me finish, then you can reply. I can't finish. So, like I said, you are an embodiment of that mentality, because last season, at the start of the year, we had the best front three in the league. Kulusevski is better than Saka. Come the end of the season, when you guys finish 8th and we bottled the title, I have no qualm saying it. I don't care about saying it. We bottled the title, yeah? But Saka and Martinelli compared to Kulusevski and Son, you guys have not said a word about these men, yeah? You don't hold your players accountable. That's what Conte was trying to say to you. What about the players? What about the players?
You're cherry picking what Conte said. Conte also said to you and me and the rest of the world, 20 years, only one trophy, same owners. Why? Same owners. You forget that bit, though.
Yeah. The tone in any business, any football club, any business, any football club.
Play the interview.
Guys,
we're not allowed to play videos on here, copyright.
Okay, I'll tell you
any football team.
If you go and listen to it again, 90% of it is about him calling out the media for not criticizing the players and him being upset with the players. They show me the eyes, the fire in the heart. He's talking about.
He had to go at everyone. He had to go at everyone.
20 years.
He had to go at everyone.
Like,
1 minute,
honestly,
he had to go at everyone.
Who sets the tone at the club? Who sets the tone at the club of what you want? Who sets the direction?
Whoever you bring as the manager. Whoever you bring as a manager.
So the manager sets the tone at the whole club.
Yeah, look at Arteta at Arsenal.
Arteta set the tone at the whole club.
100% Arteta's changed everything.
We exclude the ownership.
Arteta has changed.
Arteta sets the tone for the whole Arsenal football club.
Do you not believe that? Like Arteta has changed the culture of Arsenal football club.
Of it. It's a part of it. But here's the thing about football.
Arsenal is spending money like I've never seen before. It's got nothing to do with Arteta.
It's the same as you. You spend the same as us.
That's your own. I'm talking about Arsenal because you mentioned Arteta. I've never seen your owners say, do you know what? we're going to spend 100 million on a player. We're going to spend 75 million on a Pepe. Whether they work on it doesn't matter. Your owners are showing the kind of ambition I've never seen before. They've changed their way as well.
I'm happy still.
But every summer we spend 200 million. Don't say Arteta's changed it. Your owners are funding it. They're the ones.
Arteta has changed the way that the culture of the club. And mate, every pundit or media outlet will you don't try
because he's been given the time, G. He's been given the time. Conte, Jose, Poch. They get what? Poch was the only manager that got time. But just as we got good, we stopped backing him. Then Mourinho.
Do you know something else?
Nuno, 10 games.
Do you know something else? Breaking away a little bit.
Levy done what you wanted him to do. You wanted Poch out, and I put another screenshot. You wanted Mourinho out.
I never wanted Conte out. I never wanted Nuno in. I wanted Poch to be backed, but
how
we
can
weren't
you
going
say
to do
that
it.
when you've literally said it? You've literally typed it.
Because you've ignored everything I just said. I told you at the moment we weren't going to back him, and it was over. Then I was okay with Jose because he's a winner, and I was right to be okay because he got us to a final.
Yeah, but if you didn't believe
Spurs
that
fan
the club
would
will
sack
back
Mourinho,
why would you believe the club will back Mourinho?
Can I ask you?
Why? But G, I just told you Mourinho got us to a final. I just did. Mourinho got us to a final. He got us to a final.
So you agree with the point, man? You agree with Mourinho coming in, or not?
Yes, he got us to a final.
Okay, so
boys, can I ask you something?
Happy with Mourinho?
Breaking away a little bit from Arsenal and Spurs. Hang on.
I wanted a trophy.
Okay, so you were happy to go. So that's one manager you wanted to go.
These lot. Obviously, this is.
You know what it is, bro.
This is all what's up. I know this is not here.
You just want me to blame the managers when there's enough evidence that it's on Levy. I'm not blaming the managers.
If Arsenal haven't played well, or if Arteta's made Arteta, I've been cussing him for 3 weeks, going, why are we playing Havertz and Partey?
You're saying. You're saying Arteta has changed the whole culture of the club. So it's like me saying, so moving away from Spurs and Liverpool, Spurs, Liverpool and Arsenal. Let me bring Newcastle into it. Steve's a Newcastle fan. All I'm going to say is, has Eddie Howe been the person that changed it? Because I believe from Mike Ashley leaving and his new ownership leaving, they've set the tone. Eddie Howe is part of that. But there's no bloody way anyone could tell me right now things are changing at Newcastle because of Eddie Howe.
Rafa Benitez was under Mike Ashley. Rafa Benitez was one big thing.
Diggy, do you think Klopp or FSG? Who's responsible for Liverpool's success? Who's changed everything and changed the culture of the club? Iggy, let Iggy ask the question because he threw one to me.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying that the managers do not play a part in that. I'm not absolutely.
Okay, so who's played the biggest part?
Of course, Klopp.
Percentage-wise, Klopp or FSG? Percentage-wise, would you say?
It's FSG because they brought in the data analyst team that scouted the players. Klopp never brought them in.
Come on, man.
Gilly, who brought in the data analyst team?
I'm not saying the managers. The managers, of course, play a part. But without the board, they ain't going to do nothing, man. Without the board, that give them the players, they can't get the players that the manager wants.
The manager is look at Alex Ferguson.
Antonio Conte wanted Bastoni at the back, and he was given Longley.
Klopp was given 7 years.
This is the kind of stuff we're
was
talking
given 200 million in his first year at Spurs.
7 years, Klopp, and he was given the players.
He got us back.
He was given 200 million.
He got us back into the Champions League.
You know how much Klopp got? You know how much Arteta got?
You're not listening.
No,
that's why you finished 8th. That's why you finished 8th 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And you finished 8th twice.
And you, if it was you would have sacked the manager. In fact,
I know. That's why I'm leaving out. That's why I'm leaving out. We would have sacked him.
For someone who always backs the manager, yeah?
Exactly.
For someone who always backs the manager. Mate, how dare
you know what? You know what's happening, man? We're picking what we want to talk.
I can't. Wanted Poch out and you wanted Mourinho out. And those are the facts.
You're waffling. You've just said.
These are facts. These are your text messages, not mine.
The only thing factual is your waffle. You've just said right now that if we finished 8th and 8th, we would have sacked the manager. Yes. And that's why I'm leaving you out because we don't back.
No, you would. No, I said you would want the manager sacked. No. I said you would wanted the manager sacked.
No, I never said that. No, never.
No, you're telling me what I said. I'm telling you what I said. I said you would have wanted the manager to be sacked.
No, I wouldn't. I want the managers back.
So you wanted Poch to go and Mourinho to go, but you would have stuck with Arteta.
No, Girish. Once we weren't going to back Poch and it was done, there was no choice. I wanted.
It's kind of like if you're in a relationship with someone and things are getting more and more sour. And it's just like, you know what? We just got to call it off because it's a sinking ship.
Steve, I understand that, but what insults my intelligence is I see Stell come on this YouTube channel every week and say, I've never wanted the manager out, calling out other fans, they're all frauds, other YouTube channels. Bro, the facts are, and we put one screenshot and I can send more. The facts are, I've known this guy 25 years, bro. Trust me, he wanted Poch out and he wanted Mourinho out.
No, I didn't.
He wanted. Okay. Here's what you could probably say about
what's more powerful, Girish? Me in a WhatsApp group with you where you're taking things out of context, or me in front of an audience that's got 5,000 subscribers, one publicly telling the world I'm back.
Yeah, because they don't know what you said 5 years, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. They don't know. You can say anything. You can say, "Oh, I'm a fucking manager," or whatever.
You're saying I wanted Jose out. No, you're saying I wanted Jose out. I backed Jose. I wanted Jose.
Okay, put the screenshot up, please. Put the screenshot.
I'm not doing no, because you're telling
me. Just knew that the Pochettino.
Okay, so when you want Jose out, getting out of my club, I've had enough. I don't want it. What you're trying to say? What you didn't mean it now? Like what?
I know what
you either said it or you didn't, bruv. You understand? If you type something on my group chat and say, I want Mourinho out, get him out, I don't know about you, but every other human being would assume you want Mourinho out. You understand?
Girish.
So you can't say, I typed Mourinho out, but I didn't mean it. And then come on YouTube because no one's seen what you typed and then try and deny it. I want to show everyone on YouTube that you did say these things. You wanted Poch out. You wanted Mourinho out.
Everything I've said out of context. You've cherry-picked the screenshots. I've responded to them. I've debunked them. I've answered, and you're still going on. What more can I do?
No, I understand.
You want to take a responsibility for what you said.
You just want to prove to the world, and it's failing in my opinion. You want to prove to the world that I say one thing to the world, but I actually mean something different.
100%.
My
100%. That's what I believe.
No, because my mentality changed over the last 5 years. I was never Levy out. I've never been Levy out. I've never been Enoch out.
The first time he was Levy out was 2001. That was the first time.
I was Levy out in 2001. That's when we saw.
Oh, sorry, 2021. 2021.
No, I was Levy out in 2019 once the Poch thing failed. Once that failed, I became Levy out.
Put these up, please. Put these up, please. Yeah.
You can imagine what the group chat's like.
This is 2019. This is 2020. A year later. So
by the way,
this is a year after he wanted Levy out. This is the year after. Okay.
1 minute before you do that, I've got one more need to put up because you wanted the Conte speech up. I've got it. 1 minute.
Just the tension.
And you know what? I'm going to say before it starts, my opinion is it is 80-90% based on the players. And there's a throwaway comment at the end of the shot of the owners. Your interpretation still, and it seems like yourself, Iggy, as well, is that it was all about the owners. So let's listen to it, guys, and then we can talk.
So this was the Conte comments.
Southampton,
because we are showing this, and for me, this is unacceptable. This is what he said. This is the first time in my career that I see a situation like this. Until now, I wasn't able to change, and compared to last season, the situation became worse. Conte then took a dig at the club's owners.
Stop 1 minute. So you finished fourth, okay? You spent 170 million that summer, okay? So let's put some context around, like you like to say. So you finished fourth in the league. Yeah, you're in the Champions League, and your owners gave Conte 172 million pounds to spend that summer.
They didn't give Conte.
How much was it then?
No. They spent 170, but Conte wasn't in control of all the signings. This is the problem we've got.
Oh, here we go. This is what I mean, bro.
No, that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. For example,
you think Antonio Conte, who asked for Bastoni, which was 70 million, and Bastoni didn't want to come. Plan B was to get a £5 million reject from Barcelona on loan, Clement Longley, who was awful. In all of Conte's successful, he had Skriniar, he had Bastoni, and he had De Vrij into Milan, elite. And he came to
want Messi and Mbappe and fucking Neymar.
And he came. 1 minute. And he came. Give us 1 minute. And he came to Tottenham, and he said, "Daniel, get me that Clement Longley." Get me that reject.
What about Richarlison, 60 million? What about Kulusevski? What about Bentancur? What about Bissouma?
Paratici?
What about Romero? Whoever.
Okay. G, I'll tell you. Our director of football used to work for Juventus. Paratici, he got Bentancur and Kulu, who were on the bench not playing for Juventus. He got them in. He brought them in.
They're probably your two best signings.
As for Romero, he was still connected for a transfer with Juventus. Paratici bought these players. Some players are Conte's, of course they are. But a lot of the same thing happened.
The thing is, Conte gave those two guys a go ahead because of the mentality that he knows they come from Juventus stock. Although they weren't playing regularly, they're well from that Juventus world, which Conte knows fully well. So he backed Paratici to say, bring him in.
Okay, so now if you're saying Conte wasn't in charge,
Jet Spence, Longley, those guys.
If you're saying so Iggy, if you're saying Conte wasn't in charge and he was a director of football, now you haven't got a director of football and I've got Ange and he's picking the players. Don't tell me you made videos saying, where's our director of football, guys? Don't tell me on your YouTube channel. I'm going to see videos saying, where's our director of football? When you're blaming the bad signings on the last director of football. No. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that.
No, because again, you're saying things that aren't true. Paratici's number two because Paratici is now consultant whilst this criminal investigation goes on. His number two, Iggy, what's his name? Not Gabardini,
Yeah, so it's some Italian. I know what you're saying. I mean, look, I'll look it up.
He's running the transfers now. He's out.
Do you want a director of football now? Do you want one now?
I couldn't give a shit whilst Levy's there. I couldn't give a damn. They're going to do what they want anyway.
You don't want a director of football, or you do? It's a yes or no kind of.
I don't care whilst Levy's chairman. It doesn't matter. Levy will always have the final say.
Just like how. Let me.
We've got this Australian guy. We've got this Australian dude,
Scott Munn,
who's going to be the business football director.
You know more about than I do. I'll give you that. Right? I don't know the ins and outs, but what I do know is
it's important, though, isn't it? It's important.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But what I do know is, like what I'm saying about when you win, it's the Conte or Ange masterclass. When you lose, it's Levy out. Now you're trying to tell me and everyone watching, when it's a good signing, it's Conte. When it's a bad signing, it's Paratici. Bro, this is what Conte is trying to tell you guys.
Do you know why I praise the managers when we win? I'll tell you why I praise the managers, and I don't
until you want them sacked, obviously. But yeah.
Take whatever little digs you need to take because I've already crushed that. I'm not going to go back to it.
You haven't crushed nothing. These are words you said, bro.
I have. You took it out of context and the timing of it you've just dismissed.
There's no context to Jose out and Poch out. There isn't no context to it.
All right, no context. With managers, I always praise the managers when we win because personally, I think it's a mini miracle when we do well with some of the players we've got. I can't believe we've done well with some of the players we've got. I don't for 1 second think Tottenham are capable of winning a trophy with the squads we've had. We've often had a good starting 11, right? I would say under Poch, we had a good starting 11, under Redknapp, even under Ange now, I think we've got a good 11. But once there's an injury, a suspension, African nations, or we've got to rotate, we're fucked. We are absolutely fucked. And this is the problem at Spurs. We don't build a squad. We don't have 5 or 6 decent players on the bench where we can say, do you know what? There's going to be a bit of a drop-off if we make a sub, but not a massive drop-off. If we take off Bissouma, it's Oliver Skip. It's like, if we take off Romero, it's Eric Dyer. If we take off Vicario, it's Fraser Forrester, age 38, can't even bloody get to the ground quick enough. If Son gets injured, it's Richarlison. We're fucked. This is the problem.
I don't have a problem with you thinking that,
but this is Levy. He won't build a squad.
I don't have a problem with your criticising the owner. Mate, your club, you're a fan. You support them how you want to support them. The reason why I'm here tonight,
just not telling me how to support.
The only reason I'm here tonight is because. Okay, fine. If that's what you think, fine. And if anything, I think about 2 months ago, I was in the live comments of one of your streams when you were saying we need to finish above this, that, and I was like, bruv, Ange just got in, give him a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like we were laughing because I seem to be defending like your manager and your players rather than like you. But anyway, the only reason why I'm on here today is because if you want to say that about your club, then keep the same energy with every other club. Every other club is a fraud. This guy's a fucking overpriced. This guy's shit. So you want to say all that about every other fucking club in the Premier League. When it comes to your club, when you lose, or when you shit the bed.
What club do I say that about? One minute. What club?
Let me finish, then you can talk in it, blood. Let me finish, bruv.
What club do I say that about, though, G? What club do I say they're a fraud? Who?
Arsenal, mate. You call Arsenal fraud?
Yeah. Yes, on, absolutely.
Billy, you back me up. They'll all talk about Arteta's
a fraud.
You are
fraud.
Yeah, fraud. Yeah. He calls Arteta fraud all the time.
All the time, still.
Yeah, because he's been there for 3 years and had 700 million. No manager at Spurs had 700 million.
Okay, so park that thought. So you're saying Arteta's a fraud and Arsenal are fucking whatever bottle jobs or whatever you say, yeah? In the mud, whatever shit you say, yeah? I'm 43. I don't talk like that, but that's fine. I love you, my mate. You know how you want to. I don't care. But the point I'm saying is, yeah, if you're going to say to me that stuff and you're going to say the reason why you are able to call Arteta and Arsenal frauds and bottle jobs is because we stuck by our manager. Yeah, but the only basically,
so what have you done to this geezer, man? You got him on smoke, man.
And sack Mourinho when you wanted him to sack them. So don't come up with this big excuse now. Going, oh no, we're Spurs are immune from criticism. Bro, it stinks.
Irish. Okay. Well, here's the thing.
I'm not a little kid.
No,
so when you talk to me, respect my intelligence. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't stink.
If you want on your channel, you can do what you want. You treat different clubs differently. You treat different clubs differently.
No, I don't. I treat them equally. If Spurs keep Girish, if Spurs keep just one manager for 3 years and spend the money you've spent, I can't say shit. I can't say anything. But here's the problem. We don't do it.
Why? Because Levy sacks them, right? Because Levy sacks them, right?
Yeah.
But I've just shown you screenshots where you wanted him to sack them.
Oh,
so you at the time you wanted Levy to sack them. Don't deny what you said, bro.
I understand what Stell's saying. Like I said, like I gave the example of a relationship failing, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to leave this girl, but you know what? It's just not.
The thing is,
basically Stell was the last one to jump off the sinking ship of Pochettino or Mourinho because he realized the ship was sinking and he knew why the ship was sinking.
Do you know what I think? 17 managers in 23 is beyond. It's not even relegation stuff. Yeah, I'll tell you something else. Ange Postecoglou, for all the love I already have for him, because he's got great ideas, great vision of how he wants to play football. Let me say it right now. He's going to come unstuck. When the fucking thing where Levy does what he does, that will come to fruition. We know that as Spurs fans. We don't hope it happens. We want Postecoglou to do well. Can we trust it to that he's going to be backed so he can carry on with this? He's shown already in such a small space of time what he wants to bring at Spurs, and we're loving it. We're loving it. He plays really good football. Like you said, as a fan, it's great to watch Spurs play the this way.
He's the right type of manager, Iggy. Yeah, he's the right type of manager.
I agree with you. I agree. Do I trust this Levy to back him when it really matters, to support him when he really needs him, when he comes a little bit unstuck, get him the players to get even better? Do I trust him to do that? No. And that's when Postecoglou you're gonna see the demise of that. And then we'll come back here and then we'll talk about this again, because this will happen. It's not when or if. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Right?
Because
Iggy,
it's shown there's a history of it.
Iggy, I'm no Daniel Levy fan. Trust me, I'm no Daniel Levy fan. Believe me, I don't care about that guy.
If I was a Gooner, I'd love him, G. If I was a Gooner, I would love Daniel Levy.
No, I don't. But what the point that me and everyone else, Gilly can attest to this, the point that me and everyone else in the group chat is saying is that you can't, every time you win, you can't say it's the managers and the players, and every time you lose, you can't say it's Levy, because that is what Conte is saying. The mentality of your club, your fans, is there's no accountability. Harry Kane even said it 2 days ago. He's like, if we lose 2 games, no one cares. No one cares.
Girish, hold on 1 minute. Girish, 1 second. 1 second. I agree with you now. Hold on, I agree with you on this bit. I agree that our fans do not hold people accountable, right?
Exactly.
Which is why I go to the protests. More fans at Spurs fucking hate me because I protest, but my protesting is to try and hold people accountable, right? I agree. Our fans.
I disagree, but I'll tell you why. Yeah.
No, I agree that our fans lap it up. I agree that our fans do not do nowhere near enough to hold people. That bit I agree with you. I wouldn't argue that with you. I can't.
Yeah, but the reason why you get like 30 guys at your protest, 60,000 people walk past you, there's 30 of you, and they go into the stadium and enjoy the game. The reason why that is because for me, as your friend, I'm telling you, especially when you talk football with me, this is where you lose credibility. You can't blame like Conte losing a cup game against Sheffield United's under 19s on the manager, on the owner. Sorry, it's the players on the pitch are good enough to beat that team still. You understand? So yes, the wider picture is Levy is always penny pinching. He never buys players early in the window. I agree with you on all that stuff, but where I disagree with you is, why did Ange make 9 changes in August for a cup game? He should be prioritised. He should be trying to.
Every manager at Spurs does that same.
It just, but still, I've told you, it doesn't make a difference what Harry Redknapp done 10 years ago, bro.
Listen, the protest, by the way, the reason we don't get a lot of people to the protest is because our fan base is placid, right? They're scared.
It's because
they're scared.
you only blame the owner, bro.
I know my fans better than you, right? They're scared of being seen on camera or on social media and being associated with being against the owners, because our fans think if you stand up against the owners, you hate the club. Because I get told,
your fans
I'm telling you this because I get told, Girish, I get told this. Go support another club. You just hate Tottenham. I'm like,
if you're trying to tell me I'm wrong and you've got only 30 of you there at protest every week, who's really wrong, bruv?
You know why there's only 30
I've been right. I've been right.
I know why.
Steve, one second. I was right.
No, you haven't been right.
I have because last season, that stadium, the chant was, "We want Levy out." That was the chant. They all woke up. They just don't like protesting because they know I'm there, and they don't want to. They don't want to be associated.
When everything's going to shit, they'll just say that sort of stuff.
Our fans.
The reason why they're not with you now? Why? Every week? Why is only 30, 40 of you standing there? Is my honest opinion is
because we're playing good football
and they're happy now.
Because we're playing good football, they're happy. Our fans are happy with good football. That's enough for them. They're happy with that.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, bro.
I know.
I'm not trying to tell you guys about your fans. I'll concede you know a lot more about your fans than I do. But
you know when we beat Man United, do you know we beat Man United 2-0, right? There was like a big hoo-ha in the South Stand. They were singing Poster Cogler. I was there getting involved. This fan next to me with his son, right? I said, can I do a quick video with you for my channel? I did a video and his comments were, that's all we want. We just want good football. Who cares about trophies? I thought, this is why we're fucked. This is why we're fucked.
But still, listen, when you appointed Mourinho, as an Arsenal fan, I said to you, you sold your soul because one thing I know about Tottenham is at least you have a way of playing. You're an exciting team to watch. At least you have that. Even if you don't win, at least you have that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I watched your game against the Ajax, mate, even I was like, fuck, when he scored a hat-trick right at death, even I was like, fucking hell. So, man, my friend Aiden, I was texting one of my good friends. He was there at the stadium. He fucking FaceTimed me. Even I can appreciate that. Do you understand? When you stink it out, put everyone behind the ball, and it's just awful to watch. And you're clinging on to this thing where, he's a proven winner and he'll get something.
And that's the only reason why. That's the only reason why we clang on to that. Because at the very least, he's going to bring a trophy.
Yeah, at the very least. In my opinion, you're trying to take a shortcut. Like Pochettino built.
No, trust me, man. We do anything but shortcuts.
Listen to what I'm saying. This is the point. And you tell me if I'm wrong. I respect everyone's opinion at the end of the day. My point is, with Pochettino, you appointed a manager who was, at the time, he wasn't that known, right? He was from Southampton, and it was a brave appointment at the time. If you're asking me, I thought it was a brave appointment. Because I remember bannering Stella that he finished above us for like 5 years in a row or whatever, yeah? So at the time, it was a brave appointment, but you could see that he was bringing a philosophy, a culture, everything to the football club, right? Where I used to criticize him is that he would throw away the cup games, really.
Because the priority was top 4, man.
Yeah, but that was his priority. That was he wanted.
It was agreed upon. You don't go to a job, speak to the boss, and you tell him this is what we're doing.
Wenger done that for 9 years, yeah, and we didn't win a single trophy, and fans were all over him, bro. Because at the end of the day, top 4 with a negative net spend is not a trophy, bro. Yeah, it's not.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah,
That's why I said I would turn away top four for a trophy.
Pochettino done exactly what Wenger done. Pochettino was concentrated on trying to compete for the big ones, and you were competing, right? I know you. There was a couple of years, 2 years in a row with Leicester and Chelsea, where you were thereabouts, right? So his eyes are on the biggest prize. Do you understand?
Yeah, and that season that you're talking about, where we bottled the league,
I don't
right?
see. For me,
Well,
I don't think we bottled it.
even with what was that season still where we was doing spits and we gave the geezers Saha, was it Saha and Nelson?
Nelson,
Do you
35
remember that? But fucking, he wanted these two, and then gave him Saho was at the end of his career, and Nelson say, "Go on, then go and challenge." So what I'm trying to say to you, when it matters, when Spurs have been there, hasn't been a lot of times, but when we have, and it was like, let's double down, man. Let's go and get the players that this geezer wants because he's doing bits. We go and do the complete opposite, lose heart and lose momentum, and it all fucking goes. The difference for you guys is that look what Arteta. What happened with Arteta last season?
You're playing Monday quarterback because at the time,
what I'm saying is
negative net spreadsheets.
The discussions you guys have been having, I don't know them. All I will say to you,
he wanted top four over FA Cups, right? You've seen it with your own eyes, right?
Yeah, I saw that
5 years ago. 5 years ago,
what I'm saying,
when I was saying your team under Pochettino was good enough to at least try and win something, right?
Yeah, but last season,
listen to me. Stell's retort was, "I don't care about FA Cup. I want to be in the top four." So at the time, you can't blame Levy for doing something that you all wanted at the time. You wanted that.
No owner does what the fans say. The owner does what he wants. No,
you know what's happening now? What's happening now is that with Arsenal, with this young team, young manager playing good football, going to places, it's exactly what was happening with Pochettino. They're very mirrored what's happening. The difference is last season, where you guys came short because as soon as one or two players, important players in that team, got injured, it fucked your title chances. So what did he do? What did the owners do this year? They went and bought. It's like, you know what? I want Declan Rice. It don't matter if Declan Rice costs 20 million or 200 million. He ended up costing 105 million. We don't give a fuck. We want Declan Rice. Bang, bring him in. Saliba, Gabriel. Gabriel is not quite the muscle. We'll keep him in the squad, but what we're going to do with Saliba, we're going to get him the partner. Bang, they're going and got in the defender. The only fuck up that they done, in my opinion, to this day, I said, if they get a proper striker, these guys will mount a challenge for the league. You went and bought Kai Havertz. That's the only other one I didn't understand that signing. But what I'm trying to say, just to finish what I'm saying. All I'm saying, let me conclude. Let me conclude.
Sorry.
All I was saying is that they didn't say, do you know what, Arteta? Yeah, we know you need those players, but we're not going to give you Declan Rice. We're going to go and give you, I don't know, man. I can a third, fourth option, and then Arteta will be like, all right, fair enough. If that's what you can do, that's how we operate. The difference that Arsenal have done is that they've gone and got those players, and they've gone with that momentum now. They're going with what they had. They didn't lose anyone, but they've added to that squad. They made the squad a little bit bigger. And I truly believe that where you fucked up is you haven't got that 25 goal a season strike. And in my opinion, I think if you added that, you'd be title contenders. I'll put you up there with Man City. But that's the difference with Pochettino. We didn't do that. We didn't do that.
Let me reply now. So the thing about me, bro, is I can talk objectively about my football team. Ask Gilly. Gilly will attest to it. I can criticize players when they deserve criticizing. I can criticize my manager when I think he deserves criticizing. What annoys me is that when it's going well with Spurs, Stell's like it's all to do with the manager and the players. When it's not going well, it's the owner. Bro, it's a double standard.
You two look like you got some I'm going to leave it with you two because I don't know, man.
This is the only reason why
this is 5 years of stuff that you lot are bringing up.
This is the reason why I pulled up because, like I said, what you've said to me, I can accept it. I agree. Rather than spending 16.5 million on Havertz, I'd rather have got a number 9. Like, I agree with it. I don't have a problem with it. But what I'm not going to do is, if we have a bad season, I'm not going to blame Kroenke for it. But
You
you guys,
should.
or not you, but still will try and blame Levy for it. That's the difference, bro. Do
You
you
should
understand
blame
now?
Kroenke.
That is
You
the
guys are
difference.
terrible.
You guys, Arsenal fans were Kroenke out up to not that long ago, man.
1 minute.
Yeah, but
Arsenal
now he's
fans
spending
were
the
Kroenke.
money. Now he's spending the money.
That's what we're trying to get at.
Okay. So now he's spending money. You spend 20 million less than us.
No. Hear me out.
Okay,
You guys are spending money because you are backing the Arteta. You're saying to me, do you know what, guys? I don't care if Arsenal fans want Arteta out, which they did. We are sticking with this guy. That's the one thing you guys did. You stuck with him and said, we are going to see him through this journey. We're going to come out 3 or 4 years, 5 years
So
after
was that a good thing or bad thing? Was that, in your opinion?
I think it's a brilliant thing.
Still thinks he's a fraud. Still thinks he's a fraud, and we've done the wrong thing.
Well, listen, whether there's a fraud or not, time will reveal that. Time will tell if he's a fraud or not. What I did admire,
you don't stick with the fraud, surely. You don't.
No. There's some opinions. Everyone's got opinions. What I'm trying to get at though is that they decided that whether they're right or wrong, time will tell if they made that right decision.
Would you sack him still then? Would you have sacked him when he bottled top 4 and bottled the league? Would you have sacked him?
Yeah.
Answer honestly,
Yeah. I don't think he's the right guy for you. I don't think Arteta's the right man.
So you spent all this time, saying I've always backed the managers. You should stick by them, back them, yada yada yada. And now you wanted Poch sacked. You wanted Mourinho sacked. You wanted Emery sacked. I've got a screenshot of you saying we should sack Emery, and now you want Arteta sacked.
Well, forget Arsenal. I don't care about.
You're looking funny in the light, fam. You're looking funny in the light, bro.
Emery wasn't given the time, man. In my opinion, I think Arsenal made the wrong call on that one.
I'm going to repeat what I've said already on this show. Right? If we back one manager for 3 years with the kind of money that we've spent the last 3-4 years, the kind of money you've spent under Arteta, I won't say shit about Levy because I won't have a leg to stand on. If we win a trophy, right? If we win not a proper trophy like an FA Cup or a league title or something like that, dude, I will praise Levy because he would have had an impact in that 100%.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
After 23 years,
how much did he get? How much did he get to spend?
He's had 23 years to get it right, and he still fucks it up.
Okay, so Arteta, he finished won the FA Cup, finished half a season 8th, and his next season 8th, right? How much money did he get in those 2 years? Do you know?
No.
About 80 to 90 million. You know why? Because you had to clear the dead wood first.
You spent 72 million on Pepe. What are you talking about? That you spent about 150 million.
That was Emery. That wasn't Arteta. That was Emery.
Was it Emery? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, bruv. So like I said, facts don't care about feelings. I'm coming with facts, rude boy. You understand? So Arteta, his first 18 months when he's a fraud, he should be sacked or whatever. And I'll be honest with you. In his 3.5 years at the club, I'll be honest with you, there's one time where I wobbled and I was like, get him out. And that was when we played, I don't know if you probably guys don't remember, you're Spurs fan. We played Villarreal in the semi-final of the Europa League. So all we had to do was win the game at home and we're in the final. And we fucking lost and I was there. And that was the time, that's the only time I've ever said, get him out, man. I can't, I was fed up. But the point I'm trying to make is, you're talking about, I will be the same as you if we backed our managers. What you don't understand, and what I will educate you on tonight is, look at Klopp's first 18 months or free transfer. Listen, let me finish before you start biting back. Yeah. God. Well, when I talk with facts, bro. So, you're talking with feelings. I'm talking with facts.
You think you do, not always.
No, it's how much you spent in the transfer market is facts, bro. It's not feelings. It's a factual thing. There's accounts.
Yeah, but we spent money on the 4 managers, G. I keep saying
so let me finish my point. When Jurgen Klopp got in at Liverpool, go and look yourself how much in the first 2 years he spent at Liverpool. When Arteta got in at Arsenal, you go and look how much he spent the first 2 years. Yeah. It is less than 100 million. Every manager you brought in, so Mourinho, Conte, I beg your pardon, and now Ange, you've given like decent money to rebuild. So you're everything is an excuse. This
is where I'm gonna. You're not educating enough.
Let me finish my point. Rude boy. You can answer it. I'll let you make your point. Let me make my point.
It's hard to listen to, man. It's hard listening to. God,
it's hard listening to because you're getting bodied, bruv. Like Tom told
you. No, you're not getting bodied. You're comparing. You're basically saying money. Because you're saying money isn't being backed. Money isn't being backed. It's being given time to do the job. Given
I finish or
no
not?
manager at Spurs had time to do the
Okay,
job.
I can't finish. That's when you know you've lost. That's when you know you've
No,
lost,
I
man.
haven't lost. I'm listening to the same thing, and you're not listening to my reply.
No.
You're
I'm
using
listening to you
You're
put up
using money
excuses as to why the manager
you're
is
using money
never
as a
accountable at
mechanism
Tottenham
to define
Hotspur.
being backed. Being
Conte
backed is not
comes in,
defined by
spends
money.
$250
Being
million,
backed is defined
and
by
he,
money and time to do the job.
Conte
You're
comes
not
in and
considering
spends
the
a
fact that
quarter
no
of a
Spurs
billion,
manager gets time to
and
do
it's
the job.
okay. It's Levy's fault. He lost against Sheffield United. Conte comes in and spends 250 million, and you want to make excuses for him losing to Sheffield
He
United.
spent 250
Listen,
million. What are you talking about?
Okay, should we go through the signings? Let's go through them.
No, I don't need to because your argument's finished. You're using money as the measurement of being backed. That's incorrect. Being backed is money plus time to do the job. Arteta got money and time. Conte never got time. Mourinho
You just
never
said
got
you
time.
were sacked Arteta, though. You just
You're
physically
changing
said
the
you
argument now. Now you're changing the argument. Stick to your argument. Stop changing.
You're trying to make an excuse as to why you won't hold your managers accountable when you just said you would have sacked our manager.
Money equals being backed. Money is not being backed. Having money and having time to build the project. Klopp got 5 years before he won a trophy, and he came close. They kept doing it.
Gilly, what do you think? Gilly, man, you said nothing. Me and Stel, we're going. You tell me what you think, man. Gilly, are we in a situation where Tottenham can never? There's no manager that's ever accountable for losses. It's all you.
No. Now you're changing an argument. You've got 5 arguments on the go because you can't win one. Gilly, the question that
screenshots of you talking.
Now screenshot 6 arguments. How many more arguments do you want to throw? Gilly, let me ask you this question, right? Being backed, is it about money? Is it about being given time? Or is it both? I think it's both. And Spurs managers don't get both. That's my argument. That's my response to G.
What you've got to understand is when you come into a club, you've got to understand the lay of the land, right? You've got to know whether you're coming into an amazing squad or whether you've got to get rid of players, bring other players in. So you've got to set your stall out and apply it appropriately. You can't just come in and expect to win a trophy. That just doesn't happen. You've got to think about the players you want to get rid of. You've got to think about how you're going to balance the books. Which players can you bring in as temporary stopgaps? We've signed some absolute shit players. Absolute shit. We only signed
Gilly,
one.
Do you need time to do that? Do you need time to do that? Do you need years to do that?
We signed one midfielder in like 4 years, which was Thiago. Right. We had Henderson and Milner holding down the fort. So you've got to earn the right for that extra bit of time. You can't just say a manager should be given time.
Gilly, Conte got us back in the Champions League. Yeah, even when Conte walked out the club or he was sacked, we were still top 4. Mourinho got us to a final when he got sacked, Gilly. Did they not earn the right?
I would say so, but you can't just
there
play.
You go. So, Gilly, you've just said to me, yes.
But it's shit football as well. You can't just play shit football. You know, why did Mourinho get kicked out of Man United? Because he was playing shit football, and they knew
he won them 2 trophies. Gilly, he won the 2 trophies. He would have been a hero if Mourinho won the FA Cup and the Europa Cup at Tottenham. He would have been our second most successful manager since 1980.
Wow. Yeah, I don't doubt that. But for Man United fans, they're entitled. They think they got to win the league or the Champions League. But then it was like, this is shit. We don't want it.
Listen, my point is right. Iggy, see that. My point is this, right? My point is this, and it's not just Gears.
Take care, brother.
Big up. It's not just Gears. I get this argument from Spurs fans. They come for me, and my argument's always this: if you stick with one manager and you just properly back him, not we're going to back you a bit here and then stop for a bit, and then in 2 years' time we'll start again. If you just keep backing, let's just even if it's 100 million every summer. So 500 million over 5 years. But no matter where you finish, no matter how badly you do, you just stick with that guy. If we did that, there's no way I can say anything about Levy. It's impossible. Because then, where's my argument? We've backed him because we've given him time to do his work and he's been given the money to at least build something. The problem is, with Poch, we got to the 3rd year and we stopped buying players for 2 years. Conte, he was here for 15 months. Mourinho, 15 months. Nuno, 10 games. There has to be a point where you say, these managers aren't being backed. They're not given the time. And you just said to me, you've got to have credit in the bank. You've got to build up credibility. Conte had us 4th twice. Mourinho got us to a cup final, and we got rid of them both. Listen, maybe we just see it differently, but that's my take as a Spurs fan, and most Spurs fans actually agree with you two.
Yeah, they do, because there's 30 people at your protest every week, bro. So 60,000.
You know why there's 30 people at the protest? You know why there's not?
And there's an empty trophy, in the cabinet in the stadium.
Yeah, but the way you think, it will continue to be. Because Conte told you.
Because
Conte told you to your face.
How
is
it because of I think? How is it because of I think? No, one minute. How is it my fault we've won no trophies? Tell me how.
Because he's saying there's no accountability at this club. There's no, you know, Harry Kane just told you the same thing. You lose 2 games, no one cares.
How is that my fault? How's that my fault?
Because when you lose games, you will never blame the manager or the players. All you do is
they don't listen to me, Girish. They don't listen to me, Girish. They don't listen to me. They don't listen to me.
Let me have my say now.
But you just blamed me, and I'm saying they don't listen to me. How's it my fault?
They don't listen to you because, like I'm saying to you, if you want credibility, still, you need to be able to look
credibility. I don't want credibility. I couldn't give a shit. I don't do it.
Okay, well then you turn up with 30 people every week, bro, and 60,000.
You know why there are only 30 people at Spurs protest? Because they haven't been relegated yet.
And the 62,000 that don't come, enjoy an empty trophy cabinet for another 23 years.
And trust me, Conte told you it's never going to be a trophy cabinet unless you hold the players accountable.
No, you don't want to hold them accountable. Conte said they're used to it here. They don't play for something important. They don't want to play under pressure. They don't want to play under stress.
Who's not playing under pressure?
No. Let me finish.
Players, that's why.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Tottenham's story is this: 20 years. There is one owner. They never win something. Why? The fault is only for the club. He called out the owners and said, you've been here 20 years. Why have you not changed it?
Because the whole mentality is you don't hold anyone accountable. It doesn't, like, basically, you can lose. I don't know any other football club. Listen to me.
He's kept Dyer here for 10 years, Girish.
Okay, you're a Liverpool fan. Out of any other top 6 club, if we lose in the second round of the Carabao Cup, right, to Sheffield United, or whatever, a youth team from Sheffield United, who out of the top 6 clubs, other top 6 clubs, would blame the owner for that? Or would they, as I believe, say we should have a team good enough to beat a youth team from fucking Sheffield United?
I'd say, apart from Sheffield and Spurs, I'd probably say Man United fans are the only other ones. Green and gold scarves come out. It's
excuses FC, aren't they? Excuses FC, yeah.
The point is, right, still, let me tell you something. I was playing golf today and I bumped into this Spurs fan, right? And we talked about football and I was like, do you get down to the games? And obviously he's Leeds-based as well, like I am. And he said, not really. He goes, my young lad, he goes, his wife's an Arsenal fan and he's a Spurs fan. And I said, oh, so what's your lad? And he goes, do you know what? He goes, I didn't want to make him a Spurs fan. He goes, so I let him choose. He goes, but he chose to be a Spurs fan. He goes, but we're not really bothered about the results. And I'm just like, you're not bothered about the results. How can you call yourself a Spurs fan, not be bothered about the results? If you speak to my wife, right, I don't speak to her for 4 days if Liverpool lose. I literally do not speak to her.
You've literally backed up my argument.
Yeah, but this is the point still. But you are one of those fans. You're a Spurs fan. You don't really give a shit. You're not that bothered.
Billy, I give a shit. I go ballistic at our fans. I'm hated by
but
our
the
fans.
The rest of them don't.
Mediocrity.
Yeah, but you never talk about the players or the manager still. You go ballistic on the owner. Yeah. That's what we're saying.
Because the owner... Girish, do you own a business?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Right. So
I've done 20 years in the city and banking, and I run a world.
I didn't ask all that. I just want to know you own a business. Right? Me too.
I do,
right?
yeah.
As a business owner, the buck stops with you. You can blame your staff as much as you like. You can chop and change them as much as you like. But if you can't hire properly, if you can't recruit properly, if you can't deliver success, it's on you. It's your business, no one else's. Likewise with me, when my team's my youth football club, if we don't get results, yeah, I can change coaches. Yeah, I can bring in new players. But if we don't get results, it's on me. And after 23 years, it's gone on too long. And you don't want to admit that.
So if you believe that it's all down to the owner, don't you dare come on our group chat when you win and say Conte masterclass and all this nonsense.
But we don't win trophies.
When you lose,
Girish, you've never seen me praise the owners because we haven't won a trophy. If we win a trophy, I'll praise Levy, but we don't.
When you win, it's down to the manager and the players. When you lose, it's because of the owner.
We've never won a trophy.
If you're saying the buck stops to the owner, when you win, praise the owner. Levy in when you win.
because we've not won a trophy. I've just told you. We don't win trophies. How can I praise the owner? What's he won?
Yeah,
He's won
but
fuck.
the owner's got nothing to do with Ange making 9 changes. The owner's got
No,
nothing to do with it.
the owner, after 23 years, the owner
Answer the question, still. Answer the
I
question.
have.
So last week, when you played Fulham in the cup, see you, Gilly. And I'm going to go as well for this because I've been on there too long, and we're going over the same thing again and again. But answer the question then, right? Last week, when you lost to Fulham, whose fault was that? Levy's fault or the manager for making 9 changes and the players on the pitch?
I blame both. I don't blame the players because the players don't knock on the front door and say, hi, is there any vacancies going? We scout them and bring them in, right? The players are at Tottenham because we choose to bring them here. I don't blame the players. We fucking keep them here. I blame Ange for not standing up to the owner and saying, yo, this is my rodeo now. We're not going to do this focus on top 4 bullshit. But I blame Levy for not giving a shit that we're at the cup. As long as we get top 4 and the Champions League money comes in and Levy's got his Lady Gaga concert and we've got NFL football and we get the Formula 1 track, which I said we're going to go to, by the way. I'll treat you because I know you like Formula 1. But
100%.
We'll go.
For free now. After tonight, for free, you're going to treat me.
No, you're paying double. You're paying double.
I'll buy drinks after. You want to pay for it?
Maybe. But Girish, it's like I said to you earlier. If this was 5-10 years, I would blame managers. But after 23 years, man, it's gone on too long. We've changed managers, we've changed coaches, we've changed players, we've changed stadium, we've changed training ground, academy, sponsors, income. We've changed everything at Tottenham and we still fail. The only thing we haven't changed is the fucking ownership. It's the only thing we haven't changed. This is why I want them gone.
And I'll end on this. Yeah? Listen, for everyone who's like watching, trust me, me and Stola, we're like best friends. So, you know, there's nothing personal here. It's just a bit of
Girish at uni, man. We used to go out with.
We go back like 25 years.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat, but in case anyone thinks it's not personal at all, right? We're good friends. But and I'll end on this note, right? That the difference with me is when I watch a football game, I'm looking at the 11 players on the pitch and the manager. Are they better than the 11 that they're playing and the manager on the opposite team? If they are, I would expect them to show me they are. I don't look for excuses to say, oh, it's the owner's fault. If you don't, because, you know, if you assemble a team that costs 720 million, the B team, regardless of how good, like when Arsenal gets spun by, I don't know, Olympiacos or whoever it is, I don't make excuses and say, oh, because our owner hasn't, you know, I just look at the game at the time. Who's on the pitch? The defenders, the midfielders, the attackers. Are they better than the opposition? In all cases I'm talking about, you're playing against Sheffield United's reserves, Middlesbrough's B team, Nottingham Forest's youth team. Like the players you have on the pitch are good enough, and the manager you have is a world-class manager you're paying 15 million a year to. They are good enough to win that match. So yes, I'm not trying to. Listen, I'm not a Levy fan. I don't care about Levy. But what I'm saying is, for me, where you lose credibility is for every other Premier League team, when they lose, you want to talk about the manager and the players. But when it comes to you losing, you want to sort of dust your hands of it and say, oh, it's Levy.
Only the clubs where the manager's
that is when you lose credibility.
And been backed. No, only when the manager's been at a club long enough and been backed. Yes, I'll call them out.
And anyway, we'll agree to disagree. Nice talking to you all. Salute, big up my brother Stowe each and every time. I'm happy for him. I hope the channel grows, man. And
like big up for Girish coming on, man. It's not easy.
It's never personal. It's just football talk. It's just football talk, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, salute everyone. Yeah. Big up.
Nice to meet you, bro. Peace.
Peace, G. Take care, bro. We'll speak. I guarantee you, I'm going to go back to our WhatsApp chat now. There's going to be like 7,000 messages. I'm going to. Anyway, all right. Listen, guys. Big up to Girish, man. Listen, having a rival fan come on a channel that is not their club is not easy, because most of the comments, they're naturally going to back me because they know me, they're Spurs fans. So you're going to get, there was a few people backing Girish as well. Got a couple of Arsenal fans watching. So anyway, listen, big up to Girish, man. I'm going to try and get Girish and Gilly on a regular show if I can, and maybe we can get a regular show, Steve, man. You're welcome to come as well. But listen, should we get into the Premier League?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
I was meant to end half an hour ago. But anyway, all right, listen, guys, we're quickly going to go over the Premier League. We're going to have a quick discussion before I wrap it up. I feel sorry because Steve's come on tonight and the guy hasn't even spoken, so I feel a bit bad.
No, it's all good. Oh, good.
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. All right. So, okay, here we go. So we got first game of the weekend, Wolves versus Liverpool. Now, I personally think Liverpool will win because they're in good form at the moment. Their defense looks a bit suspect, but Wolves have been playing some good football, right? And they've also, when I saw them against Man United, they never deserved to lose that game to Man United. I think that could be a tricky game for Liverpool. I'm going to go Liverpool to win it 2-1. But what do you think, Liverpool Wolves?
I was thinking 2-1 as well. And actually, it's even less clear cut than you might even think. Remember, Wolves smashed them 3-0 last year. So for me, Liverpool, they just have to keep scoring. They don't have the defense to win 1-0, 2-0 anymore. They're going to concede in a lot of games. It is what it is. But they do have the firepower to outscore the other teams. The thing is also about this, which makes it even more of a interesting game, is 12:30 results. There are a lot of funny results for the 12:30 slot. This is the time slot when Everton beat Arsenal last year, I believe, 1-0, when Everton were crap. And they are this year too. And, something could look. These games are these 12:30s, they throw up some freaky results. So I still think Liverpool will get through it, but Wolves are going to make the game very stressful for Liverpool, I think. But they're not going to finish their dinner. That's been their problem. That's why I think they're going down as well. I like their team is decent, but the goals keep you up. Goals win you trophies. Goals pay the bills. The guys who get paid the most have to score. Wolves don't score consistently enough. They create the chances, but the finishing is poor.
What do you think about this comment here from Zafaguna, that early kickoff after the break is a trap? I saw a couple of Liverpool fans complaining on social media today, saying that the early kickoff always screws them over. Do you think it could come back and bite them?
Yeah, but it's not because of the 7:30 kickoff. They're so whiny. Wow. A time slot. Who cares? So you're saying you would rather have less time to prepare for the game against Lask Linz in the Europa League on Thursday. You would rather play later. Oh, why are we playing on Monday? We have to play in Europa League on Thursday. And then they give you the earliest slot because you play on Thursday. Why are we playing so early in the month? Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares.
To be fair, as Spurs fans, we used to moan about it as well. And I tell you what,
I
as a
love
Newcastle,
the 12:30 kickoff.
now you're in Europe, right? Now, yeah, you like it, but managers always complain about it, don't they?
Yeah, because they're always looking for something to complain about. Always, because that's just the nature of it. No, but honestly, it's embarrassing the 7:30 cry fest. It's embarrassing, bro. You are you know why
people wondering. Just to clarify, Steve lives in America, so he's 5 hours behind. So it is 12:30 lunchtime UK, but Steve's 5 hours behind, hence the 7:30 a.m.
You know what? You know why they don't like the 7:30 kick? Oh, no, sorry. You know why? That is one of the time slots. That is one of the most watched Premier League matches of the weekend, because in Asia it's about 9:30. The 12:30 kickoff is one of the most viewed regular Premier League matches around the world. And you're Liverpool. You're a big club. Everybody gloats about it. Everybody flexes it like Monopoly money. But then you don't want to pay the price or act like a big club where you're in this 12:30 time slot because the world is watching. That's why big clubs play in the 12:30 slot.
If Liverpool win, they go top of the table, and if Wolves win, they go back into the top half. So Wolves really need a win here, big time. Liverpool, if they want to seriously mount a league title charge, I think they need to win it as well. Because if they don't win and City win, then there's a 4 or 5 point gap, and you know what happens when City do that. Yeah. What's your prediction then, Steve? I'm going 2-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah, same. I think Wolves might score first. I think Liverpool might come back in this. Yeah, I would probably do that. Maybe they get a freak goal. I don't know, but it'll be an interesting game, hopefully.
I'm just gonna do a couple of super chats because they were
no
going
worries.
during the show, but we were too busy having an argument. Big up to Presario, YouTube member. Thank you so much. William, 5-month member. Big up to you as well. We've got Daniel with a £10 super chat. Big up to you. Just got here, dropped a like on the stream. What's being discussed? Should be a routine win for Tottenham tomorrow. What do you think? We're going to get on to Tottenham in just a minute. Question for Steve. What games are you watching this weekend? Steve, what games are you watching this weekend?
The ones I'm looking most forward to, obviously Lazio, Juventus tomorrow. The Inter Milan, AC Milan, big game. I think Barca Betis as well as on Saturday. Real Madrid play Real Sociedad, and those two guys are in Champions League. That'll be a good game on Sunday. I think there are a few others, but yeah, some good.
I noticed you didn't mention your team, Newcastle.
Of course, I'm looking forward to watching Newcastle. I'm nervous a bit because I like Brentford, but yeah, we'll get on to that. Yeah.
Super chat from Della Spurs. Big up the panel. Would you say Brighton is backing De Zerbi? Even though they haven't spent more than 60 million on a player, the owners are buying all the young talent he wants and asks for. One thing I'll say about Brighton is they're generating shitloads of money from the players they're selling.
Yeah.
They're making absolute fortune. So they're actually building a war chest, So yeah, I'd say De Zerbi's being back, but they're different, aren't they? We don't expect Brighton to win a trophy. You don't expect them to.
They're trying to build up to win a trophy, I think. I think they see that they can establish themselves in the league as top 6, maybe that. Who knows? Because here's the thing: no one ever saw what division were Brighton in a decade and a half ago. Weren't they in League 2?
Yeah.
They had a crappy little stadium. They were gonna go broke. And they've ascended to here. So who's to say they can't become in 20 years a top 5 club where they win a Europa League or that? Who knows? We'll just it's a cool project Brighton got going on.
We'll find
Who
out.
knows?
Girish, who was just on the show, great show, popcorn out, enjoyed it. Big up my bro still each and every time. Big up to Girish, man. Much love to G. Like I said, man, respect for Aguna coming on the channel. It's not easy. It really isn't. I've been on an Arsenal channel before. It's not easy. Just a Harmless Potato is a channel member. Great to have you on board. All right, the next game I want to look at, Steve, is Tottenham versus Sheffield United. Now, see, I do think we're going to batter them. I think it's going to be like 3-4-1, but it's going to be just pure domination. I think we're going to struggle to get the first goal, but once we do, I think we're just going to take them to pieces. But there's one little niggling thing that always bothers me, right? When all Spurs fans predict a thumping, shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
Now, I'm hoping under Ange that's going to be different, but we also thought it would be different in the Carabao Cup and it went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confident, but I'm still a Spurs fan.
You're a little bit wary. You are still wary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a tight game. And you know why? Wes Foderingham single-handedly kept Sheffield United in that game against Man City. He was making some incredible saves, and they were defending as well as they could, and they hung in there, got the goal. It took Rodri the beautiful goal that he scored, very, very good goal late to win that. So if you could go toe-to-toe with Manchester City, I get it. It was that oh my God, what's this statement?
That was at the Etihad.
Bramall Lane. I get it. It was at Bramall Lane, the game against Man City, but they showed they could give them a game and it, keep it not to a cricket score. So I think they could cause they could frustrate you. I think they could frustrate you a bit. I'm gonna take you 2-1. I think you'll get a late winner. But would I be surprised if you beat them 5-0? No, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm a little bit apprehensive, but I think we're going to batter them. I think we're just.
I think you'll batter them in terms of like shots on goal, shots, possession, like. But I think.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, Steve.
I was just gonna say I think Wes Foderingham could keep them in the game because he did it against Man City. Why can't he do it again? We'll see. But
Steve's going 2-1. I'm going 4-1. I think we're going to do it. The next one. Now, this is an interesting one. Normally, West Ham versus Man City, you'd say, yeah, Man City win. But West Ham are on fire.
They're in a title race. Some
And-
would say.
And title race. And Man City are away. But if there's one team that knows how, it's Man City. But you know what? If Man City have a bit of an off day, doesn't quite click, West Ham isn't a place you want to be going to, and their fans will be absolutely charged up for this game. So I'm going to go 2-1 Man City. I think they're just going to do it.
I'll go 3-2 City. I'll go
5
3-2
goals.
City. Yeah. I think Jared Bowen could score in that game. Mikel Antonio works. Think about Kudus as well. Kudus could easily. He has the quality to score. I think they could again frustrate Man City to a point, but I'll go 3-2 Man City. Because they find a will and a way to win more often than not. But it should be a decent game. But yeah.
Do you think if West Ham was to get some kind of result, even a draw, that and Arsenal beat Everton, suddenly Man City are under pressure? Because
No.
let me tell you why I say this. Because part of me thinks Arsenal are hungrier this year than they were last year, right? To have the lead for so long and then choke. They're on a mission now, and they've spent they bought some good players as well. They're on a mission. But the only thing that kind of makes me think, nah, is because no one's won 4 league titles in a row. And if there's one man that would want to get that record, it's Pep.
Yeah, if there's one guy to do it, it's going to be Pep. I don't think they're under pressure. It's 5 games in, and we know Man City are overperforming compared to their previous seasons, bar one. Now remember, this is the second time under Guardiola that they've went 4 for 4 in their first 4. So they've had worse league starts than this. Arsenal had their best start for a long time. And Man City, they're not under pressure. They're under pressure in terms of like the bookie favorites, and Guardiola ain't going to be happy if they drop points to West Ham. But pressure is, they're used to it. They've coped with Guardiola's coped with pressure. He's done it at 3 top clubs and done it consistently. And he's got this league in the bag. I don't think Arsenal have it because the manager. I think the manager's a good manager, Arsenal, but I don't think he's ready for Arsenal yet. I want to see what he would do at a Betis, a Sevilla, a Sociedad. Somewhere where the spotlight isn't on them as much as it is at Arsenal or Real Madrid. I just think he's got some fix up. But going back to just the West Ham strictly, yeah, I think at 3-2. 3-2, I think they'll give him a good game. I'll go for a Jared Bowen goal in Holland.
I think City as well.
I like Jared Bowen a lot. And Kudus will also be interesting to see if he plays as well. I like Kudus a lot.
Now, for me, the next game is the biggest game of the weekend. I know people say West Ham City, but I think the way Brighton are playing, the way that club is going, the direction they're going in, what they did to Newcastle as well, man. I know your boys, I mean, Brighton taught you a lesson. I mean, they're teaching everyone a lesson. Yeah. Man United are all over the shop. They're in the news for all the wrong reasons. They're a mess, but Man United tend to get results at home. They tend to get results at home. So I think this is going to be
through what's the saying? Through hook or by crook. Man United, yeah.
Any which way, how they find a way, right? But do you know something? I think Brighton are going to do it. I think Brighton are going to beat them. I think Brighton are going to sting them. Because if Man United have to play Johnny Evans and Maguire, I think Brighton are going to absolutely cause them mayhem. But again, it depends on who they start. I'm going to. Do you know what? I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton. I'm going to go 3-1.
You know where I am going to apply pressure? I am going to apply pressure on Brighton because they have everything going for them. They are on the ascent. Man United are on a descent. I know the points are here and Man United's up here just in terms of the name and what it means and what they used to be. But they're on a harsh decline and have been since Fergie left. Brighton, go out there and make a statement. Your opponent, go to Old Trafford and win. They are down, and they're Man United, just everything about them. They're not even down on their knees or in the mud. They're in straight up hell. You are above them because you are not in hell. They are. Go and punish them. Go and show them you aren't just big bad Man United and you're not gonna. No, you're poor, and we're gonna punish you for it. That's
Steve,
what Brighton did.
I'll tell you what's interesting. If you look at the league table, the top 3 highest scoring teams are Brighton first, and then joint City and Tottenham. Brighton, they know how to score goals, man. I think this is what I'm saying to you. If Evans and Maguire are playing, I think Man United are going to get their asses served on a plate.
Yeah, and it's all about. And again, same thing with De Zerbi. I would say put pressure on him. If you really want to be, people talk about him, and he is excellent. But if you are really a top manager, if you really do got something about you, show it. Again, you have the better footballing side right now, and Man United are in hell. They are down and out. All you need to do is have the balls to kick them in the head, and it's over. Now, are you going to wuss out of it? Are you going to crumble to the Old Trafford, crowd hype? Or are you going to go there and say, we're better than you and we're going to show it? Like, this is an opportunity where it's like your opponent is. I don't think
De Zerbi gets phased. I don't think he's phased by the moment.
I don't think so either. But whether his team implements his ideas and all that and capitalizes when they have to, that's a
Steve. Brighton did the double over Man United last year.
Yeah, that's true. So there you go. So they've shown already 2 opportunities. They've slain the giant. So I think they'll do it again. Why not? I'll go 2-0.
2-0. I'm not going to bother with Villa or Palace. The next big one I want to look at is Newcastle.
Villa will
Brentford.
probably win that 4-0. I think Villa are a good side, man.
Listen, I'm not bothered about that one. I don't think that's much of a game. But Newcastle, Brentford. Now, Brentford are 8th. Your boys, where are you? 14th. You're on 3 points. They're on 6. So it's a bit of a mid-table clash, let's say. You need to get points on the board, Steve, right?
Yeah.
I think Eddie Howe's beginning to put himself under pressure because this is what happened at Man City when the rich guys came in. And at Chelsea. Whilst it's going well, it's great. As soon as the bad results come in, bye-bye, next manager. So I think Eddie Howe needs to get a result here. And you're at home. You've got to be winning this. However, Brentford, they're so well organised. We struggled against Brentford. And the amount of times Brentford. Dude, Brentford should have beaten us. They missed an open goal, for crying out loud, right? I think this is a draw. I think this is 1-1.
It could be. What I want to say about the Eddie Howe thing is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when Chelsea got taken over by Abramovich, was Claudio Ranieri already there? Or was he hired by Abramovich? When Man City took over, or when they got taken over, was Mark Hughes already there, or did they hire him? Newcastle, we sacked Bruce because he's a bum, and our ownership, Stavely, Godosi, Ruben, all the decision makers at Newcastle, they sacked Bruce and let Tyndall have a game or two. They themselves personally brought in Eddie Howe. So I think the leash is a bit longer than maybe some people think. I have my own things that I want to see Newcastle do in terms of the next 8 Premier League games. I need to see at least 4 wins. And in terms of we have a bunch of big monster games coming up. I want us to win one of them. Like, if you can get a win at AC Milan away, huge, huge. I don't think we will. We are under pressure, yes, but I don't think it's as exaggerated as other people think, because our owners brought in, they picked Eddie Howe. That's their guy. Mark Hughes, I don't think, was hired by the Etihad Group or whoever, Sheikh Mansour. He wasn't picked by Sheikh Mansour. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. Ranieri wasn't picked. Eddie Howe was picked. So,
what's your prediction for this then?
We have a good record against Brentford generally at home. I think it'll be a close 2-1 win. I think Bueno scores the first goal, though.
So you're going to be 1-0 down and come back to win 2-1.
Yeah.
All right. Bournemouth, Chelsea. Now,
Ooh.
Chelsea are in that transition, but Bournemouth, they've not won a game. They've picked up 2 draws, but Chelsea, they've only won 1 game. They're not doing much better. Yeah. And Bournemouth are at home. Now, you'd expect Chelsea, in terms of name, to win. Yeah. But Nottingham Forest beat them the other day at Stamford Bridge. So, what are we saying? 3-1 Bournemouth?
I'm going to go 2-2, I think. I think I'm going to go 2-2. I like the way Bournemouth play under Iraola. I liked watching Rayo Vallecano when he was the manager there. Tiny budget, good football, competitive, up in your face. Heavy emphasis on athletic players, good first touch, football IQ, pressing, that kind of. So I like Ariel. I think he's a good manager. I'm excited to see what it do at Bournemouth. I think that they can get. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for a draw, to be honest, because Chelsea, they're stumbling. It's a brand new everything, so it's gonna take time. Yeah, they'll have a slip up again. I could see it. I'll go 2-2. So I think Bournemouth do beat some.
I'm going to agree with full ball. I'm going to go 1-1. I agree with you, Steve. It's going to be a draw, but I don't think there's going to be many goals. I just don't think Chelsea have got a lot of goals in them. So I don't either.
I don't either, to be honest.
1-1. Now, the last game of the weekend. Well, not the last game being played, but the last one we're going to look at. Everton versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal are equal points with Liverpool, Tottenham, West Ham. So they're in the race as always. Meanwhile, Everton are in the mud again. Everton need to get something from this, right? Or I think Dyche is going to really be in big trouble. Having said that, Arsenal haven't won there I think it's 1 in 7 years, and they always seem to they always seem to make Everton raise their game. Yep. Arsenal fans are worried about this. Arsenal fans think they're going to lose. Arsenal fans are trying to prepare themselves. But Steve, I think Arsenal are going to beat them. I think that win against Man United, the camaraderie, they got their bellies all fired up, and Everton, man, I've watched them. They're dog shit.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, if Arsenal don't win, I'm getting Gearish on an emergency Saturday night show, and we're going to have it out again, right? Because I'm joking. I'm not doing that. No emergency show. I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal. I think Everton will rally for a bit, but then Arsenal will get control of the game and win 2-0.
Oh, 1-0 Everton. They raise their game when they play Arsenal at Goodison. Yeah, my God. I'm going 1-0. Arsenal they don't look like they did last year. I'm sorry. And as crap as Everton are, I still think they'll get relegated. I don't rate them at all. They raise their game. They raise their game when they play Arsenal. I think they could. Yeah, I'll go for a 1-0. That's my upset pick of the weekend for me. They just always have that mental block when they are also sometimes. Let's not act like Arsenal haven't, dropped points against teams that they should be beating when the pressure's on. Remember last year, drawing with Southampton 3-3, losing or drawing with West Ham. losing to Forest away 1-0. Those are all 3 poor teams. One of those teams got relegated. So it's not like this is anything brand new for Arsenal. They can bot just like any team, because it's football. It's not just played on, oh, this team has the better 11 versus this one. So
you really think Everton are going to beat Arsenal 1-0?
Yeah, I would put a bet on it. Yeah. I just think they raised their game, and you know what?
I'm thinking whether to bet you, but the problem is, whenever I make bets, I'm always in the mud. I'm always in the mud when I bet.
I genuinely, it's like Arsenal are just, they haven't performed really that well. And they've gotten lucky a few times this year, not in terms of they aren't lucky to win, because if you outscore your opponent, you deserve to win, in my opinion. But the gravitas and the look, it's going to be Everton have done this before, man. Everton have done this before. I'm not impressed with Arsenal. I'm not impressed at all with Everton. It's going to be a freak result. These things happen, man. There's going to be a result this weekend. There's going to be a result this weekend where everybody goes, how the
score 4 against Fulham.
And everybody will be like, what?
I tell you what, I don't think it's good if Everton win. I'll tell you why. Because if Everton win, and we beat Sheffield United, we go 3 points ahead of Arsenal, which means the next game is Tottenham Arsenal at Arsenal. Okay. That means they need to win us to pull it back. Because if we get a result,
to do it anyways.
Yeah, but it's even worse when we're ahead, I think. And I think it just puts. I think and you know what the thing with Tottenham is? Tottenham are better when they're chasing or when they're below the radar. Yeah. When Tottenham are in the limelight and leading, we capitulate. We shit the bed, Spursy, Bottleham Hotspur, all of it comes out. And I'm not saying I want Arsenal to win. I always want them to lose. But if we win and they don't, that North London derby for me becomes even more fucking harder.
I just don't know how it can get any. The only time that a North London derby could be even more pressure for me, the only way that you do that is if it's an FA Cup final, a Champions League semifinal or final. If it's a cup final or semifinal, that's where it's like the pressure compared to a regular league game. I think it can go up a level. I don't know if a league result would mean. I get your point though, because I agree with you. I think Spurs are better chasers than the chased. Hunter versus.
Yeah, we don't have the bottle. We don't have the minerals as some people say.
Right. I just for me, I don't know. I see an Everton win. They could do it. They could.
Listen, Premier League, anything's possible. Tommy's asked Stel, if we lose the North London derby, but we get 3 points against Liverpool, would you take that? Tommy, my answer's simple. I will take a win in one of the games, because I know we've got Arsenal, Liverpool back-to-back. I will take a win and a loss right now. I'll take that. I will take that, because that's better than 2 draws. 2 draws are 2 points. If you guarantee me 3 points out of 2 of the hardest games this season, I'll take 3 points all day. 100%. I'll take this. It will hurt when we lose to Arsenal, but I'll take the 3 points against Liverpool.
You lose at the Emirates anyways. That's the copium you could smoke out of the bong. You could just be like, well, we always lose there anyways. There you go.
Mate, if we lose at the Emirates, I'm absolutely going to get rinsed by everyone. One last thing I wanted to say before we wrap it up, Steve, is where was it?
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just going to ask you about the Eddie Howe, because you asked me earlier. What do you think Newcastle should do about it? Like what? Like do you? I want to stick with Eddie for a while. I still want things to be like. I don't want to completely say, "Oh, we can be 17th," and I want to keep you. Like I still want to have a level, but I don't mind going through some ups and downs. Like
I think right. Eddie Howe did a phenomenal job with Bournemouth. He got them promoted like 4 times. They were on the brink of bankruptcy. They were in Division 4. They were finished as a club. and he got them into Division 3, 2, 1, Championship, Premier League. Like
honestly,
honestly,
top 10 finish in the Prem.
Yeah, like
Which is crazy.
he's a very good manager. Right, let's be honest about it. He's a very, very good manager. However, and this is where the problem lies for Newcastle.
Sure.
Your owners haven't come in to just get top 4. Right? They want to make Liverpool the new Man City.
Right.
Sorry, they want to make Newcastle the new Man City. Man City were the new Chelsea. Newcastle want to be the new Man City.
Yeah.
When you're up against Klopp, Pep, all the top managers in the Premier League and the top managers across Europe because you're in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Is Eddie Howe the guy to compete at that level? You can't say no because he's never been given the chance. But I don't think he is.
Champions League. That's why I love the Champions League group we're in, because it will really then show. That's why I loved getting Man City at home in the cup. Show me what you can do when you're an underdog against top class managers and very good teams, away, home, Champions League. That's why, because I want to see what Eddie Howe's made of and what our players are made of. I would rather know if you ain't the guy. I'd rather know that sooner rather than later. You know? And I want to see big games. I want to see Newcastle competing in high level of competition, because that's
but at the same time,
iron. And I would rather see if Eddie Howe can stick or twist.
But see, the other problem you've got as well is you're gonna Arsenal gonna realize this season as well. This is what happened to us under Poch.
Okay.
When you get to the Champions League and you've got to rotate midweek, Premier League, then you're still in all the cup competitions.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're playing 65, 70 games a year potentially. Yeah. It's now a squad game, right? You need a squad. Yeah. Has Eddie Howe been given the squad? I don't think he has. I looked to your bench the other day.
I think there's some good things.
Yeah, but Steve, I looked to your bench in your last game, and I'm like, I don't see it. So I think you can only judge a manager with the tools he's got, and I don't think you've got the tools yet.
Yeah,
it depends. It depends what kind of owners you've got. If you've got owners that are going to be ruthless, like all these billionaire owners are, they just want the success eventually, and they're not going to wait 5-7 years. They want it, 3-4 years. Yeah. Then Eddie Howe's going to have to get results with the tools he's got, but I don't think he's got the tools yet.
Yeah, I think the tools could be. Who knows? The tools could be on the way. They could. We'll see. There are some parts of the squad I really like. I think it's great that we have a Callum Wilson and Isak, because those guys can both score goals. I like the midfield depth in terms of Tonali, Bruno G, Joelinton, and Willock. And even in Elliot Anderson, you could maybe see what's up with that. Longstaff, okay, he'll be good for games against bottom half Premier League. I don't want to see Longstaff starting at Dortmund away, like that kind of thing. If it has to happen, it has to happen. But the one and up front, actually, we have a lot of options for wing, striker, and the other wing. Harvey Barnes, Gordon, Isak can play left. Joelinton has played on the left before. My only worry is the center backs, because when Botman went down against Liverpool, I knew we were going to lose the Brighton game, because it's freaking Matt Target at left back and Denver center back next to Fabian Schär and Trippier. I'm like, that's not good enough. So I think and that's the only complaint I have about the summer window. I wanted to bring in a center back. So I think the tools, not yet. But here's the thing. Did Eddie Howe have the players at Bournemouth to get top 10 finish in the Prem? No. So maybe he could do it on another. It's all about the levels.
But hold on, Steve. It's one thing. It's one thing competing against the red belts and the yellow belts. It's another thing competing against the black belts and the brown belts. Yeah. This is where it's a different level, right?
It's the highest level of
you think clubs like Bayern Munich and PSG and AC Milan, you think they're going to show you any respect? They're going to give you no respect.
No, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to play teams that I want. When I see Newcastle play, I want good games. I want the opponent to give it their all, and I want, my guys to give it their all. Let the best man win. Really. No, I'm excited for the Champions League group. Cubed. How is it sad that we're in a group of death? Our fans are ecstatic that we're in a group of death. We get to go away days to AC Milan, Dortmund, PSG, welcome them at St. James's Park. Do you really think we wanted a group with Union Berlin, Braga, and Red Bull Salzburg? No, you want the big guys. It's the Champions League. It's what it's all about. We haven't had European football in over a decade. We haven't had Champions League in about 20 years. It's back with the bang. That's when I talk to Newcastle.
Enjoy it whilst it lasts, because
and we'll see what happens. We'll see
if it doesn't work out after 3-4 years. It goes so badly wrong for the next 3-4 years that it just sucks. So embrace it, man. Embrace it.
Exactly.
Steve,
I'm letting the cards fall where they may. Let the dice, whatever.
Listen, Steve, I've got to go because I've been doing this whole show not well. And I don't know how I've got through this show, man. I think I'm more sick now than what I was, and I've got to be at work in 8 hours. So, Steve,
fair enough.
Big up your channel, brother. Thank you for joining us. Where can everyone find the legendary Strasbourg Steve, the man that watches more football than any other YouTuber I know? Fact.
I'm watching some Brazilian football right now. You can find me on Strasbourg Steve on YouTube. It's mainly where I do my thing. I try to get on as many channels as possible because I just love talking football with people. So, thanks for having me on, Stout. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure, bro.
I'm just going to get I've got it saved somewhere. Just gonna get your URL. There it is. Steve's on the road to 1,000 people. I've just put the link to his show in the comments. Make sure you give him a subscribe. Make sure you watch his watch-alongs. Steve does more watch-alongs on more football than anyone out there. So if you really, really love football, believe you me, Steve's the guy you want to be watching on when it comes to watch-along time. Links in the description. Make sure you smash the link button, subscribe to Steve, follow him, and all that good stuff. Steve, my final words are always leave you out. What's yours?
Oh, I thought you were only leave you out when you lose.
I'm leaving out every day of my life.
That's what I always got the vibe of. My final words: away the lads. Let's go beat Brentford. Hopefully. Do it.
All right, guys. Listen, everyone, thank you for watching tonight. Please smash a like, subscribe, and notification bell. It was a good one. I'm knackered. I'm dead. I'm gonna go take some paracetamol. Peace.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.